What's going on? I am invisible. We are early, yeah. Can they at least hear me? Check, 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 check. I just heard myself. Yeah, yeah, I definitely heard myself, but I cannot see myself. Mm-hmm.
Streamlabs. So much.
It's so funny because I was literally just up on the screen.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, where'd you go?
I don't know. Hold on a second.
Oh, you literally just um. Okay, hold on,
Close Skype.
hold on. I'll just. All right, let's just drag in. Anyway, well,
There I am. Hi guys.
they can't see you
I'm
yet.
out here.
They can't see you yet. Well,
Oh goodness.
yeah, I'll fix the volume in a sec, guys.
That's so funny, dude. Guys, I was where you see the Pilsner glass is literally where I was, and I was microscopic. That's quite funny.
Hold on. This is why I don't log in HC1. There you go. Okay, you're there.
Yay!
Okay, I just need to adjust you up. I should have just done this on the second channel.
Why? This is great. This is awesome.
All right, all right, all right. How about now? Talk for a sec.
Check, 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 check.
Yeah, there you go. You should be good. All right, we are
Welcome
here.
to Amateur Hour, guys. That's
God.
what you get. We don't have a production guy. Paco is actually participating in some sort of Smite thing. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was like a tournament or part of a league thing. I don't know. But he's not available tonight. So we're kind of running a show, but fortunately, it's not like a huge show. It's just us we're going to be covering FCE's stream. They apparently have some fun stuff. And we can all speculate as to what that is, which, that it's always fun to guess what we're going to see. You miss your killer? I guess you're talking about Paco.
I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say probably the new map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just a wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I would guess so too. I mean, Hess's tweet suggested so, for one. He said he was really excited to show the new map, whenever that was going to be. Maybe in fewer words, but that's the message he was getting across. And interestingly enough, shortly after the fake leak of, the new map that's coming up, Hess had actually tweeted that. But speaking of that fake leak, it was sent by a Z0 over in Discord. I don't know if it was anywhere else, but I saw it in Discord. And initially it said landing June 1st.
Hold on. How are you quiet? You're okay. Okay, look at my bar. Okay. And talk and just watch the bar.
Check, 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 check.
Check. Look, it's literally the exact same.
Is OBS up though? That might be the problem. Because I'd be running through OBS.
Yep, it's all the way up.
Oh, it is up. It's all the way up.
So now I just gotta turn Skype up. All right. How about now?
Check, 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 check.
You know what? Fuck
Guys,
it.
you just let me know.
Let's just fuck it. All right, you guys want Wolf? Here you go. You get Wolf. There you go.
Hello, 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 hello.
Fuck, there you go. All right, how about now? Are we good?
Oh my goodness, that's too much.
That's probably too much. That you're probably right. Like you're pinging on the red
Wolf
now.
is not quiet anymore, says Killer Cam. I'm sure Pumpkins is covering it. Pumpkins covers everything. Firewall. I think isn't he kind of like an ambassador for them or something?
I think he's like a mod in the Discord or something like that.
Yeah. So he's like involved, so of course he's going to be covering it. But the the leak essentially said, and it was a really well written like fake leak. Actually, it had some stuff that has been discussed, but they said the new season is going to be called Wild Reboot. I don't know where that name came from, but the map would be in Brazil. Or no, the operator would be in Brazil. I think the map would be in Brazil. You're gonna have a knock knock skill, which would be smash doors with your foot to open it instantly. I don't see the purpose of that. That's actually probably slower than actually opening the door. Be kind
Well,
of a
that would
stupid.
depend on it whether or not it would be like a single click. Like if you went up to it and hit X and you just booted the door open, like on click.
Like yeah, but it would have to be a really fast action, because I feel like opening the door doesn't take that long at all.
I feel like
It takes like a second at most. You would have to do half a second for that knock knock to do any good. And the only way that knock knock skill would actually be salvageable in my mind is if you use that skill to knock off a door barricade. Like if you were able to knock that off with the knock knock skill, that'd be perfect. Like that would probably be overpowered, but that would make it feasible to use at all.
all
It's like
right.
Ruby coming out with the stealing the crypto. Who the hell uses that?
Okay, so
I mean, I probably should,
we
but
know that that's fake.
we
Anyway,
do. Yeah.
so okay, so if you were to come up with a skill,
Hmm.
what would it be?
If I were to come up with a skill,
By the way,
I
guys,
never been asked that question
if we
before.
are actually audio balanced, I'd like to know how, because like on my audio bars, it doesn't make sense, and he is loud as shit to me. I've had to turn my whole headset down, so I might not be able to hear the stream. So
Oh, jeez. What would be my skill? I've never actually thought of that because I'm not. I've told you a number of times I'm not creative at all. But I guess if you were to add something that would be vastly different, I would say vastly different is maybe adding an equipment that allows you to use a drone or something. We have Eagle Eye, which is awesome, but it's limited to the cameras, and you can hide from the cameras if you know the maps well enough. So maybe adding a drone that you could use, physically control, or having no, that's what I'd go with. That's what I would say. That would be a skill worth using. A knock knock to smash doors open with your foot instantly just sounds like it would take longer than opening the door itself. The animation would take longer.
so your idea of a skill is to make Eagle Eye absolutely useless.
It wouldn't be useless though.
If you have a drone with a GoPro, what do you need Eagle Eye for?
Think about the certain maps where the drone couldn't go,
Like where? Like because the
like
door's
cargo.
closed?
Like cargo. Could you imagine
Can't get.
maneuvering a drone down below deck?
Sure, why not?
I'm not saying it's not doable, but
Better than trying to
I
do it on
guess the only way
fob. I
I
mean,
guess
there's a lot of wind on fob.
that there is, and you really couldn't see the chevrons on
Trying to
Fabi,
keep a
but
drone that much wind, unless it's like a really high quality drone where it's got like that auto.
oh yeah, that'd be dope. I guess to nerf it and make it more balanced, you could only do it for a certain distance. So on a map like Fob, you could probably go halfway across the map, and that's about it. Making, I would say, that would make Eagle Eye still relevant, especially if you're on the attacking team and your drone doesn't make it across. And if you can only use it once, then it would make it more versatile than Eagle Eye, but limit its use and make it a little bit more balanced. But anyway, you asked, man, like that's my answer. Like, give me cool equipment like that. But anyway, that knock knock skill sounds silly to me, but that's just my opinion. The new map, Sawmill, kind of a cool idea, old abandoned wood factory in the Amazon forest. First of all, we've all been asking for a forest map. Just give it to us.
Yeah, but really, deep down, don't we all want a Canadian snowy?
Yes, we do. Give us both. Well, you could do it in one operation in one season. Like give us the Amazon and give us some sort of Canadian winter wonderland.
A snake
We're
came
good.
to peek under doors. That would be cool, actually.
That would be really cool. But it would have to be long enough. I guess that wouldn't be realistic. But if you were to suspend your sense of reality and just make the snake a little bit longer so you could be out of C4 range. Because imagine someone running with, I don't know, they have a motion sensor up or whatever next to the door, and they also have a C4 on the door, and you try to go snake it, right?
So, first of all, in that scenario, if you're stupid enough to stand in a doorway on a sensor, like just stand there, like on sensor, and then start snaking a door, I mean, you deserve to get blown up.
Like, I mean, arguably, yes, you do deserve to get blown up, but if that's the basic tactic, which is to put a motion sensor next to the door and also C4 and maybe even bar it just because you want to be a jerk, then it would kind of make the snake thing irrelevant, wouldn't it? Similarly to the drone, because you also have the motion sensor. If you have the motion sensor, you could easily put one up. Not only with the motion sensor can you jam their arm pad, but now you can also see where they are. So it kind of makes the snake moot. Similar to my drone idea when you compare it to Eagle Eye.
Because when you think about it, because if you throw a sensor on a door, picture embassy, double doors on the balcony. You throw a sensor on that door, you're not going to pick up anything. If you were to snake that door, then you see there's a double fire at the end of the hall.
Yes, true. But if you're already on sensor, because they've already placed a sensor, you wouldn't be able to snake anyway, which is usually the case. They usually motion sensor that area.
Okay, so you're saying that the snake would actually be on the tablet, like on your wrist tablet.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You said you wouldn't be able to see the snake because your wrist tablet.
No, I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to see the snake. I'm saying you wouldn't be able to snake the door because the motion sensor would be there anyway to see you. And like you said, your argument was if you're too stupid to go up to a door that's motion sensed.
Ignore the C4.
No, I'm not even talking about the C4.
So what the fuck are you
just talking about the motion sensor.
Okay, so you're on a sensor so they know where you are. Great. You don't know where they are, is the point. As a defending team, you're not sneaking the fucking door. We're talking about the attacking team sneaking the door.
You could still snake the door, but you'd still be at a disadvantage because as soon as you remove that snake...
Okay, have you ever opened up a door and had two people, when you're on a sensor, and then have people shooting at you because you didn't know where they were in the hall? If they were on, say, left side or right side or behind an object?
But as soon as you go to breach that door and you pull the snake away, people could have already moved. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
So picture double doors.
And snaking the door is actually less safe than using Eagle Eye.
Okay, so again, same scenario, but double doors in the offices or the cubicles area on embassy. You snake the double doors to find out if they're on the left or right behind, or hiding behind the glass, or they've pushed out into that back hallway. You tell me it wouldn't be useful.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be useful. I'm just saying...
It sounds like you're saying it's useless.
No, I'm making the argument that it could be useless in certain scenarios. And I'm also making the point that drones could be useful in certain scenarios. The same with the snake. Everything has its downside. I'm just saying, I'm not saying the snake's a bad idea. I'm just saying it could be rendered useless.
You could be rendered useless.
We don't disagree much, but there we are. But anyway, so there's the new map will be Sawmill. The new primary weapon, Viper VX9, medium range assault rifle, fire mode, full auto.
Clarify, this is all bullshit.
This is all bullshit. This is just for argument's sake. And we got like 4 minutes. Let go of the tab. So I don't know if we would need another assault rifle, to be honest. Like, how many do you need? And people only really use the CQB or the classic Ray K8. If they don't give us another weapon, I'd be fine. New lethal equipment, venom smoke. I know they talked about a gas kind of bomb in the
Stick
past.
gas.
Yeah, they were talking about doing that, so that's totally feasible. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
I think
A
it
new
is because that goes against the Geneva Code.
okay. It's a game.
Okay. You know, I'm getting really tired of your bullshit, Wolf.
It's a game.
Really tired.
It's just a game. I think it's totally feasible. They've already talked about it. Why would that not be an option?
Because maybe they decided it was unrealistic, and like I said, against the Geneva Convention, so they decided that you know what, we're not allowed.
Do you think video games follow real world rules? No. Not the good games anyway. That's okay. You're just covering me up. No one wants to see me anyway. It's fine.
Oh, did I just today?
They
Oops,
also
my bad.
they also say new tactical equipment, laser beam, loud alarm heard by every player where an opponent is detected. I think that'd just be obnoxious. The laser beams would be all over the place. You'd hear alarms all the time. I don't know how realistic that would be in a tactical gameplay. And then they said after all that new content, for argument's sake, again, this is just all BS. We don't know if none of this is confirmed. But the new game engine, dedicated servers, God, we'd all love dedicated servers at this point. But I don't think that's happening this year. It's probably going to, if anything, it's probably going to happen next year. Instant access to join PSN friends in an in-game lobby and improve matchmaking wait time. No more stuck at 7 of 8s. You know, I don't know. Even with dedicated servers, I don't think that would necessarily improve matchmaking. That's its own beast.
So matchmaking, ultimately at the end of the day, will never be actually even until they put out an actual ranking system, not an XP based level system.
Right.
But an actual win-loss. Like, you win games, MMR goes up. Lose games, MMR goes down.
Yeah. You make a good point there. If they actually added a legitimate like ranking mode, that would solve all the leaderboard issues, honestly, because everyone's talking about the leaderboards and how it's all based on XP and it's not necessarily based on skill. Although to rank up that much XP, I would consider, skill based. But it doesn't, I don't know. I think having a rank system like a lot of the multiplayers out there, the competitive multiplayers, I think that would be, it wouldn't really split the player base. I mean, we have how many players now? Over 500,000 players.
Okay, but the thing is, so like if you look at any other, like Rocket League, StarCraft, all those, you have an MMR, right, or a matchmaking. So what they could do to start out an implementation of it is you separate your MMRs based on the levels that you currently have. So your level 50s are going to start with a higher MMR than a level.
Oh, they're starting.
Than a level 10.
Keep talking.
And then from there, you can just adjust.
Oh, their audio is balls.
So Lit Mobile just sent me this solar wireless battery pack. I'm excited. Let's see what's inside.
Okay, they have brand new lobby. Hold on, guys. We're switching over. Yeah, they literally just started. Whoa, Black Site is the name of a new map. It looks like it's in a town with a mosque, palm trees, a couple of tents. I don't see any new contractors.
Shout out to Pumpkins, who I know is also streaming right now. Big shout out to the AHC gentlemen that stream on Fridays. Now, I know we like to do community streams on Friday normally, but today we're doing something a little special. Showing off a little stuff. I know a lot of people think, hey, Frankie.
Why is their audio so low?
I don't know. They've also had issues with their audio too before in the past. We got a shout out though. That's sweet. Now I seem louder than you. All right, guys. So, real quick, this is called Black Site. That's the name of the map, and that's what they're going to. It looks like it's dawn. No, dusk. It's the end of the day. It looks like. I don't see any new weapons. No new contractors yet.
This is going to be a nightmare to balance.
Good man, good man. Yeah, fancy on these. Maybe guard. Good man, good man.
Wait, is Shab someone new? I can't tell. It's dark.
Got a lot going on out here.
Why is their audio so bad?
It's just crackling. I don't know. All right, so they're on defense. It looks like they're in an unfinished area, storage unit, recon, kind of thing.
Dude, I've just...
Setting up some proximities. What's up?
Okay, look. Filters. Gain. Look at this.
Oh, what about it? It's peaking in like yellow.
It's not. It's peaking when you talk.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get their volume up.
You'd have to go to Google or whatever
I
you're
did.
streaming off of. Oh, I don't know, man. All right, so it's like an open marketplace with a pagoda, fruit stands, veggie stands. That's cool. Look at that. There's a mosque in the back. I didn't quite see where this was where this actually was. Is it another Middle Eastern map? It's hard to tell. That's a really cool center for the map. Like, yeah, I didn't think so, Karen. It didn't look new. I just couldn't tell in the lighting. I'm gonna see if I can improve the visual quality. What do I? No, I have it at 1080 60.
Okay, let me know if you can hear them. I don't know.
Breathe? Oh, I'm good. I kind of like the new lobby, but it just feels the same.
It is the same. The chair is back, so basically it's like newsroom, but
Yeah, it feels very much the same. You know what would have been a cooler setting for the lobby? Is if we just saw the center of the map, which was a pagoda market kind of locale. It would have been sweet if it was there, especially with the dusk lighting. Oh, it would have been beautiful. He's using the ZS, so there's it doesn't look like there's any new weapons. He is using the, what is it, I can't remember the skill, the one where you can pick up the equipment. Tactician or something like that?
Something like that.
So he was using that, but so far no new skill, no new contract, or no new weapons. So far just the new map, again, called Black Site. I saw it initially. Oh, we lost signal. I saw it initially, but I didn't get to see where in the world it was. But
I'm going to...
It looks cool, though.
Sounds a little bit better. Reset on the video. Hopefully that'll work a little bit better.
All right, yeah, they're trying to fix their audio.
That'll work a little bit better. Please doesn't change.
You're going to ping the living shit out of my...
Doesn't change.
I had to turn the
Try to fix it for everyone.
gain up on their end, too.
All right, give me a sec.
All right, talk.
Okay. Do you want me to turn my gain down?
Nope.
Thanks for the bits, Killer. Appreciate it,
I'm
dude.
just going to break my computer. It's fine.
Let me know if there's anything I can do on my end. I can probably turn the gain down on my mic. I'm probably about a whole foot away from it, but...
Can you?
Yeah, I can turn it down.
Because I've got Skype down to like 6.
All right, how's that? Is that a little better?
Can you get one more?
How is that? Is that better?
One more?
Oh, you want me to turn it down more? All right, I'm now at about a quarter.
Oh yeah,
it seems
fixed now. It should fix. It'll
We'll leave it
jump
here
right
then.
back over to normal.
All right, so there's a lot of cars,
Fixed now. It should fix. It'll jump
a lot
right
of
back
palm
over to
trees.
normal.
This is kind of a nice map.
Awesome. Should be
All right,
now.
guys. Let me know if that's good.
All right. Careful, Mikey.
It feels like a combination of a couple of the maps, like a little bit of District and a little bit of Fob.
Exactly.
Yeah, but brighter, which is nice.
See someone?
Yeah, no, I'm loving the time of day on this map.
See someone?
Awesome.
Right there.
I love this part of the map right here, the market.
All right.
Oh, there's a little backgammon board right there on the table in front of Frank. That's hilarious. Awesome little detail.
Yeah, stay where you are, Mike.
There's a whole bunch of backgammon boards.
Right. Yes, sir. You are Mike.
All right, it's definitely Islamic.
It's fob without the sandstorm.
That's what it like. So it's not a military base, but there are definitely assets from FOB that you can see here. There's assets from like a whole bunch of different maps.
Oh, there's the district staircase.
Oh, he's got a jammer. Yeah, I was just gonna say that is district 100%.
Why is it so?
They're trying to fix it. I don't know what they did with their audio.
No, it's the quality is.
There's one upstairs watching
Try
the
to fix the
laptop right
quality.
now.
There you
So
go.
if you guys see it over there, be careful.
Oh, I see. Oh, cool. All right, so there's a building under construction.
Yeah.
That's a really cool spot that you can go up into. So a little bit more verticality than usual,
Oh, you got one of them now.
which is nice.
That's good.
There's some distant towers in the back there. I'm a little ahead of you now because when you switched,
Let's do this again. Hopefully it's looking
Yeah.
better.
went back. But... So, all right, map's not bad so far. Again, I didn't say this before, but most people already know when we see these, they're probably still under construction. This looks dense, like in terms of what's actually on the map. Just a lot of small assets, a lot of small bits plugged into it.
Alright, sorry, I had to turn you down a little bit more. You're still pinging into the red.
That's crazy, dude.
Fine. We're
Guys,
defending this time.
let me know how
Yeah,
if everything's balanced or not.
Yes, that's not doing
And Pocket's gonna have some shit to fix when he gets back.
Yeah, you're fine. What were we
He always
defending
does.
this time, right? Yeah, we are.
We haven't really seen much play here in this little building. We did initially. That was the very first spawn point. Again, Killer, thank you so much for the bits, man.
Yeah, 400 biddies. Thanks, dude.
All right, now we're fixed. Everything's good on stream.
I'm actually gonna just check to see who's in chat right now. Oh, Cougar's in chat? Not our chat. I'm looking
Yeah, I know.
over at the Firewall
Yeah, I
chat.
saw that.
All right,
Yeah,
so
like
sorry about those technical
53
difficulties,
people over there.
but we should be rolling right
Oh,
now.
sounds like it's fixed.
It's been a while since we've
Oh,
here,
there it is,
and
yeah.
right now I'm the only person
sorry
running
about those
the
technical
stream deck.
difficulties,
But we should be rolling right now. But you know what? It's been a while since we've here, and right now I'm the only person running the stream
You're doing
deck.
fine,
I'm trying
Frank.
to do
Don't
my
you
best
worry.
While we have some people helping us work from home, but you know what? Frankie is he's a one-man army, but you know what? Even sometimes a
So
one-man
it doesn't.
army makes mistakes.
FCE isn't
So,
really saying anything about
try our
where
best,
it
but
is.
yes.
Again,
Thank
like I
you
didn't
for
get to see the
letting me know that
map
it wasn't
thing.
working.
We'd have
Would've
to go
been
back
horrible if I
and
went the
watch the
entire
VoD
time
to
without it working, but we should
get
be
what
good
it
now.
is.
So sorry. Back on to our back. to
Somewhat
our
tradition said the
regularly
map has a
scheduled
modern
programming.
warfare feel. I don't
All
agree.
right.
I don't think
hear it
this
coming in.
feels
Here we
modern
go.
warfare.
Black site. Do this, gentlemen.
I played enough Modern Warfare that this doesn't feel like that at all.
Let's find some good. Let's find
It feels
some Trevor
very
spots.
Firewall. Like, look at this tent. This tent is from FOB. Those little white thing FOB. Like, so much of
You even
this
have
is just
one of
reused
those.
assets.
Actually, those white things are also on district.
They are, yeah. Like, just reused assets over and over. The new things that I think they did add, though, some of the clothes and clotheslines that they put
They're
up.
on us. They're on.
rain arrows? Watch out! Yeah, he's doing that. Nonsense.
Like this tent is like a full out
Yeah, just copy and paste
Yeah.
it. That's what it feels like.
little copy pasta there.
Hostiles incoming. Protect that laptop.
I'm staying right here between these two Escos, but we don't.
Can you put this down?
who's checking this
Come on,
out?
Frankie.
I guess I'll
Having
check
trouble.
this
If for some reason it's not.
out. Dang, man.
He's just not satisfied with where he's trying to put it.
It's all good. They gotta come
He
to
wants
us.
to put it somewhere sneaky, and
Mike, yeah, if you
Man, I
got
don't
that
blame
line,
him.
I'll cover this
I love
side,
sneaky
and
jammer
mine's a
spots,
good
but
spot over there by the
now he's just way too far away.
Now we'd like to see something more than that. The tent wall.
Trying to see if I hear any footsteps. So if we're all quiet, we can hear it.
Frankie can do it.
He's just. Oh,
He's about to
he's
say
heavy.
F it.
Yeah, there you go. F it. All right, let's go look at this map, Frank. Take a walk.
Yeah, like you can see these buildings are new.
Like the building right in front there. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
yeah. I like the tarp or whatever the hell's on top
Oh,
of it.
I just realized. So when the grenades go off, it creates. I don't think that wasn't a smoke grenade. That was actually dust forming from the grenade. Like,
Yeah, so they They must have improved
Nice,
the
Hostile.
You got him, you
smoke.
got him.
The explosion.
Mike on your left.
Oh shit,
Mike
oh
on
shit.
your left.
Two remaining.
I'm a goner, dude.
So
Home
he's
run
defending
over
the
the Hesketh
satellite.
table.
Again, satellites I think
shit,
were
left
in
here, right.
FOB.
Yeah, they were.
All right, Frank, hang tight. There's
I am.
two coming towards you.
There was one.
Yep.
Get on with it then.
Trying to
There's
get
a
a better
Raha
spot.
and then a Koro.
Okay, they're
They, you know, I have to admit, they have really
coming
good
on
lighting
either side of the
systems.
laptop.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
it.
those explosions look really
Watch out to your
different.
left. He's gonna be rushing.
Hostiles detected.
He's got concussion line. Shoot him.
Concussion lines seem fine, though. Proximity seem fine.
No way. The question is, can they destroy my jammer?
Exactly.
Combination of
I don't know.
two different
Any more
maps.
barns or
Yeah.
anything? He could
I
hear
have a
it.
concussion under there. Under the
A lot of
Definitely a lot more
Yeah,
color.
yeah.
Static grenades.
No, if he can't
Yeah,
shoot
a
it,
lot
that's
more
fantastic,
variety.
But yeah, he needs a mine or a grenade.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you look at
Oh,
maps like
hopefully they
District,
used them
FOB,
I think-
No, I
hell,
didn't.
you even go to Office, you go to pretty much any maps, and they have a particular palette that they use. They seem very generic. This one is definitely a
It's
good
like every
mix.
tribe. Exactly.
Yeah, he heard it.
But you know, some of the new assets we see, like I think they've used the pagoda already over on Compound, but they've definitely shrunk it quite a bit. It looks like they added those light streamers, which I think you can see in Hotel.
Yes.
Um,
in the cider courtyard.
But then you also have
Thanks,
the
you guys said
veggie
they love
stands
the
and the fruit
lighting.
stands and
So
stuff, which is
first
really cool. So that just
comment that I
adds
saw
some
when I looked
depth.
back really
I
quick,
I
everybody's
can't
happy
get past the
and enjoying it,
backgammon
so
games
jump
out
in
there
for
on
the
the
round
table,
black
man.
side.
Like that's just a small detail. Like they throw those little things in these maps every once in a while.
Good man.
So it looks like the color this season is going to be olive green.
Not a bad choice,
That's over.
but it doesn't
Very strong back.
mix well with the map that
All
they're
right, so we'll do another
showcasing.
series of a couple rounds and then mix it up again.
When I
Sounds
see
good,
all
right?
green, I'm
Yeah.
thinking forest, something to that
Middle
extent.
East, black site, Middle East.
All right, let's do
That's what it
this.
says.
Black
Okay, yeah, so another Middle East map. Yeah.
Yeah, which really
I
that,
hope everybody's doing
that wasn't
well.
really a shocker.
Staying safe out
No.
there. Frankie Boy here, live with the First Contact Entertainment team, playing some new content. Now we don't have any. Don't forget, everything you see is always a work in progress when we're doing these
All right,
live
later, Karen.
streams.
Bye, Karen.
Anything is subject to change, but typically, if we're in the place to show you a stream, we're getting pretty darn close to there. Don't forget, we got a couple more weeks
Yeah, we do
left
have to.
in this.
We do have to
season.
mention that. So, guys, if you didn't know,
On to the
the
next.
you probably already do
the
know,
next.
but
right.
this operation has been extended further.
Playing some
So
Firewall
where they already
Squad with
gave us
the
an
team
extension
on
into
the new
May,
map,
well, they
Black
extended
Site.
it to
Right
June
here.
now. So yeah, plenty of time, and they're also extending the
And don't
double
forget, just shiny
XP,
map today,
which is
might be
nice.
even more to come. All right, we got this squad.
Can you go in that little construction area?
Somebody was on the second floor of it. I don't know if they can go higher.
I wish they would do that. Like that particular section gives me Modern Warfare vibes,
Are you good?
or at least maybe Black Ops 4 vibes at construction.
So it would be nice for stuff like this, or for them to do a map like this. It would be to go through, just actually walk
I need to
through
bring
it
my eagle eye with
and
me.
just like take a walk around the
Ryan,
map
going
and
with you
show
then.
off something. Like, where's that door go? Like, is that door operational, and where does it go to?
I need distance though. So I
Yeah,
can
and
see-
you're right, and they wouldn't have to talk about it. They could literally
Social
just
distance,
waltz
6
through
feet.
it,
Sorry,
not say
Ryan, getting a little
anything,
too
pretend
close.
like they're playing the game, and just showcase it.
Even
Which is
still,
kind of,
even
that's the
if
thing,
you're
you
gonna,
don't have to worry about
even if you're
social distancing
showcasing
when
it,
you're in VR.
you can still do it in a way of walking around and sort of just talk about the map layout.
It's me.
Careful.
They're over here on the left side.
That would be something I would kind of like to see, rather than having to sort of get in it
Saw that,
and
right, Ryan?
have to go run around myself. At least have an idea of sort of
Oh,
how
Ryan,
it
good
looks,
man.
you know.
yeah.
We got another one over there, Ryan. He's right behind him.
It's like it looks big.
It does look big, but I'm wondering
I
if it
got
just
double
looks
down over
big
here, right?
because there's a lot
You can
of
get him for me.
halls, nooks, and crannies. You
That's
know,
okay.
they used more
Don't worry.
square footage,
You're fine, you're fine.
Mike,
I
I'm
had
on my
like
way
4
towards
cents.
you.
filled it out a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, a little Ryan. There's one straight
backing
across
off.
from you. Yep, he's backing off.
I got him, Mike. Rush him. Rush him.
Oh,
There you
beautiful,
go.
beautiful, beautiful.
One more.
Another one.
Okay, sorry.
He just ducked into that room. Hold on, I can see him. He's right around the corner.
Oh, he's
in
going
that
around the
room.
market. He's got to be going around the
Oh,
market.
how did he even hit me? What is that sight
Oh yeah,
Wow.
he's counter striking it.
The only
That
thing I
was-
wish they
that was
did,
to
and
the
they
left
have
there,
a
Shabby
they have
Tool. Yep,
great
bumper.
opportunity here to
Oh,
do it,
darn it.
is just add
just
more
shot me through.
Did he
verticality.
get a C4 down? Oh, did he really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Whew.
Unacceptable.
Whew. Unacceptable. It's okay. It's okay. We got.
Yeah, they
we'll
didn't
get
even
next.
get to
And then we'll switch it
the
up.
laptop location, and that looks like it was further.
All right. Having a blast playing Firewall 0 Hour. I hope everybody is enjoying.
I would really like to see visualization and image of this map to see how big it is in comparison. I always feel like the new maps feel bigger. Like when we first got
I hope
FOB, we were
everybody's
like,
doing
wow,
well. I
this is
hope
pretty
we're having
big.
Fun, enjoying
Then we
look at
got
the new map.
Newsroom, and we were like,
Relax
wow,
that
this
map.
is
Should
big.
we, let's go to none this time.
Like every time we ended up getting a
I think it's
new
been fair.
map, it feels like it's big.
None
But
it
I
up.
think it's just
None
because
it
it's
up, none
unknown.
it up.
Like we don't really.
Not enough, so that
We
means
don't really know
guesstimated
the maps.
loadouts and Dijon.
So the
Baby,
Here
let's
we
do
go,
this.
boys.
All
we
right.
said in their chat.
And on to the next one. Here we go. Jumping on in, playing some Firewall 0 Hour with
Is
the big
the
team over at
prep
First Contact
screen
Entertainment.
hangar,
Frankie Boy here.
which is
hanging
where it
out,
originally started, like that
playing
whole
with you. Hope
UI
everybody
originally
is having
started.
a wonderful,
But
wonderful,
the
wonderful
cables,
day.
I don't
hope
think-
you're trying to
there wasn't
stay
cables
as safe
across
as
the
you
floor.
can, trying to really just
On the
make the best
original
of it,
one there
enjoy
was.
your friends, enjoy the family, stay
Like the
social
old
distant,
school, like
wash your hands,
pre-Nightfall.
stay
They had
safe.
Oh, so
Except
you're
for-
saying over in
stay
Shoot
home.
House?
Play some VR. With VR, you can go anywhere. You can go
Yes.
anywhere in the world. Look at all these places.
They
where
had
you
the
can
extension
take- play
cords
some
and wires on
Firewall.
the
You can go
floor. I don't think they had them
Like I
on-
was saying, you don't have to be socially distant in VR. You just walk up.
Did they have them
it's
on
Fun.
Hangar, do you
I don't
know?
have to worry about no mask. Nothing. It's a blast.
I don't think they
That's
had the
what we're doing
cables
today.
in hangar. They
Playing
had
some
crates
Firewall. Like I said,
with
normally
ammo
we
and
like to play
other
Fridays with the
goodies.
community, but
And they were
this
right at
Friday
the
we're doing it a little
right at
different.
the back of the plane there.
Uh-oh,
I don't think they
there it
had
is.
cables,
Whoops.
but it's not new.
Just had to pick up my gun real quick from the ground, but now I'm good.
Today's marching orders. Protect
It's
the
100% not
access
new.
points and
You know what
enable
this
that
particular
laptop
spot
to
here,
life.
the spawn,
Okay.
All right, I got
reminds
Ryan,
me
we
a
got
lot
Trevor,
of
we
a
got Fanboy.
Pavlov map.
Trevor, I got a jammer. You got a good spot for me over here?
There's a seek and destroy map where you have to essentially defend
That one.
the satellite, and that looks, I don't want to say identical, but very familiar to that.
Time to earn your keep.
Ooh, watch out, arrows.
Oh, what coming?
Come on, Frankie, just double crouch, man.
No idea.
Double crouch, cheat. No one will blame you.
Wild card.
I got a sensor on that door, Trevor.
Easiest shoot.
Yeah, no, probably should have put it between the wall and the satellite. I really want to see this.
All right, Ryan, I'm gonna get.
I want to know how much more they're going to improve on it,
Man, I just see where everybody's watching.
ultimately. Like, look at that tower. Could they open up the map to reach that
Nice.
tower?
Probably not. It's probably
I see them.
outside of the.
In the
Yeah, it's definitely outside of that barrier. So they put more stuff in the background. Like you think of like a lot of the other maps, and there's sort of nothing beyond. Like FOB, there's
Yeah.
nothing beyond.
Just a lot of
Compound
emptiness.
is sort of pretty much
They're wasting
empty.
all
They've got
grenades
like
on
some
me.
hills in the
You
background or
got that one,
whatever,
Trevor?
but
Nice. That's one's down.
so they're making the maps look bigger than they
They
necessarily
got me
are.
down. Dion got me down. Careful.
Yeah, if you look at
Oh, I got
if you look at
arrowed by
hangar,
the-
in some areas it
Right in
looks
the face.
bigger
Remaining.
because
I can
of
give
the
you
stuff
more
out in the
Overwatch,
distance.
Hostile
But you're right.
Good job, Trevor.
Nice.
I think it's
nice.
just a.
We got one left.
Ryan, careful.
It's definitely more
He's,
visual
yeah,
trickery.
he's pushing around the corner, right to you.
Yep, he just hit my
Yeah,
button.
like I was saying before, they put
Right across.
more
Oh,
he's in the
in
street,
this
in the
square
street.
footage than I think they have in other maps.
Far
Like
side
there's
SUV,
just so
SUV,
much
Trevor.
around you.
Nice.
Oh, we got
Oh, there's
one
one
more.
more. There's one more.
Oh, I didn't know that was
The
them.
fact that we
They
have an
did
outdoor
one
map
switcheroo.
is
Oh, it's
not
Dion. It's you
at
101.
night.
It's you and DG.
Like district is dark.
Yeah. Let me get eyes.
Eyes for
I
Yeah.
got eyes. He's up.
I
You
think
see
they
him.
see
I mean,
each other.
you-
I think they see
Yep,
each
they
other.
see each other.
You could argue Bob's not right.
It's a standoff.
Bob's not
No,
necessarily
he
dark,
went behind
but
the, he
it's
went
just
behind the
Yeah, he
armored
went behind the
vehicle to the
Humvee
left, to the left.
visual.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's coming towards you.
peeking.
Yeah, with
Nice.
all
Yeah,
the
Trevor.
mechanics and stuff.
I wonder if Trevor knows he's muted.
Nice job.
It definitely
Might-
feels
he might
darker
not
than
know.
it is. But look at that, you have those towers. Oh, I'd love if they used those.
He was just focused.
Imagine the sniping
Okay,
from
good.
there,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
Trev, that was awesome. All right.
So
there we go.
That's
Cleaning
the
up
thing
that
is,
mess.
I'd really like to
Frankie didn't
see
do too well, but the squad did real well. Thank
some
you
of
guys
the
for coming
rooms
through, watching us play some Firewall
and
0 Hour.
see how like
Any
some of those
chance
buildings,
let's get
what's
Pumpkin
inside
King
them
in
are
October?
like.
I don't think so. Who knows?
Can you get to
Who
the
knows?
second floor of that building,
Of that construction site?
of the construction site, or the third floor of that construction
All
site,
right, that
and
was
the other
good.
buildings
was
that
a
are in
good
there?
one. I like that.
Is there a
One on
second
one.
floor
Yeah,
that you can go to the
that was
window?
well timed. All
Because that would
let's
really,
switch up the loadout, and then we
like,
will,
from a defensive standpoint,
rematch it.
Hmm.
That could-
That'd be
Yeah, I'm
beautiful.
gonna go with
That
it.
could
Imagine
add
lobbing
some
a grenade up
tactics.
there.
This one. Yeah, let's do this, gentlemen.
Like, I would find a lot of pleasure in seeing someone up there ducking behind one of those cars or behind one of the walls or whatever.
So
and
I
just
wonder-
lobbing a grenade up there.
So I wonder, was Gauntlet a test?
All right, we're back in. We're heading in. We're playing a little bit more black side,
test?
Frankie boy.
So if you think
Checking
about
out with
Gauntlet
the
and you think the
Firewall
back section, not the hangar
0 hour
section,
new
but back section, they
content.
had sort of
Big thank you to
a
everybody coming through. and
tiered,
watching.
a very
It's great.
tiered,
I-
almost
it's been a while
building-esque
since I've been able to play and
with
stream
windows.
and yell, and it feels real good.
So I wonder
hope
if that
you're
was sort of
enjoying it.
a
I'm definitely
test
enjoying
to see
playing
how
the game.
people
I
like the whole
Firewall.
second
It's my-
floor with the ability
easily
to
my
shoot that.
favorite
Because I mean,
VR game.
aside from that,
and
what did
it's
we
the one that
have?
I've definitely spent the most hours in
Hangar a
going-
little bit.
just going nonstop, and anytime people
Embassy
go,
doesn't really
well,
count because
as
the
long
only
as I
spot
can
you
get
have
in
on
and get
Embassy
set
is
up,
the
good to go.
well, you
Now,
can't really
this new
shoot.
map is awesome.
You have that
I'm
one
loving
little
it.
balcony, but
Yeah,
I've
that's
played
about
a
it.
couple times
So if
before,
they
but
actually,
today
like,
is my
say
first
there's
time
a set of
really,
stairs
going
and
through it
then-
hard, and it is amazing. Team did a
I mean, you
great
could
job on
argue
this one.
Compound
Ryan
has
is
it
somebody
too.
you can
Because you
thank
can shoot
for this
through windows
map.
there,
He killed it.
yeah, but
it's not the same. Like, I get what you're
compound,
saying. It's
no,
totally not the
because
same.
second floor you have the upper balcony. And that's it.
Odie is also
It's a small map.
an important asset in making
It's
sure
a
Now
very
picture-
small
works
map.
well
Yeah,
with
so
the
picture
trailer.
a larger map like this
Yeah.
with the ability of having to
probably
watch
starting
like
line
the
up.
second floor of the buildings
Right
now
now.
as you're trying to make your way through. Like, is the second floor of that building window accessible? Who the fuck
Oh,
knows?
I
But
agree
there's
100%. Like, I agree. I think
Gotta be in the tent area.
I think that would add a whole new dynamic. It would
All right.
it would definitely make me worried walking through this place.
He's firing arrows straight up in the air trying to hit somebody.
Of course.
Was Gauntlet a test? I don't know. Those are double doors. You can go through those.
There's a Ryan right behind that door. Right behind
Was
that
it a
door.
test though? Like, I don't know. I guess you could argue that,
Open it. Open it.
considering that it's a
Okay,
makeup
I'm on their
of
motion sensor.
Dangerous.
a lot of the
There's a
maps.
motion sensor over by this other door here.
All right.
Maybe that was a sneak peek. Maybe that back area was,
Well, they don't have any
you know, included some of the
Yeah,
areas
Ryan,
in
they
this
got a
map.
motion sensor on the other door against that wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Can you
should I-
drop down in that little
I don't
space?
know.
There's two
From the
people with
wall?
Yeah,
guns
actually-
pointed at it. We need someone
Oh,
to
there
flank
are?
all the way. Yeah, there's two. We need somebody to try to get around down behind him.
I'll go.
Does it work?
I noticed
I
that
think
these
we have to
double
go
doors,
up and
they're still
around,
double doors,
right?
but it looks like you can only
Okay.
open one.
We have to go further.
Okay, I'm going.
Open the middle doors of this drag.
And I wonder if it's based on what side you're on.
That might work.
So there's like this map is
All right, I'm going up. I'm
now it's
going
got this
around.
whole upper section.
Oh, there is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a-
Whoopsies, thank you.
Okay, so nothing goes that way. So this is the edge of the map.
Ruckus in the middle.
Okay.
So you have this upper section, but you can't really see it.
But they can still go to the left.
How
They still
close
have
were
more.
guns on this door?
No, to the left was nothing.
Let me get Eagle
No,
Eye.
no,
Like through the
from-
doors.
Looking
Yeah,
here.
through these doors
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this side is clear.
Looking. That door. Nobody.
I
on
find
the
it
door
interesting
yet.
that they're making it so you can only open one of the doors. I wonder if you can open the other door from the other
The
side.
ones over
Hit
here,
the door,
Trevor,
hit the
let's
door.
push all the way around into the
What? They saw me.
I don't know if you need to set that up, brother. No, you can't. You can only open one. So you got a door that sits closed permanently. I wonder if that will change or if that's going to stay in.
Otherwise known as a fixed
I was
door.
thinking the other way. My bad.
Alright, they know we're here.
Yeah, they know we're here for sure.
True. Very true.
Trying to see if I can bait Dion into coming right here. Yeah.
All right, you got one. Yep, you see him behind the SUV. There's another one that's about to back him up. All right, there are two dudes where he just went to. Back the other way. Beautiful.
Nice.
Good job. All right, hold on. They're pushing towards you now.
I just hope they utilize the map
All right,
size.
one other one just ran back behind.
Because
him.
you know how, like, a
Ran me down. I was
newsroom,
trying to
they
get behind
have
him.
so many
So
different
there's two of
locations
them
on that
over there
map,
near,
but I feel like a lot of it's
Ryan, if you push, there's only
underutilized.
one of them right now.
Like, there's no
behind the
need to
second
go to
SUV.
certain areas.
Yeah, you guys
Okay,
gotta go
I'm
together
pushing
though.
across the street.
Careful,
Well,
careful.
that
You're
depends
good,
on
or
what
he's
you
moving
normally
back.
do. Because newsroom is like a
Alright,
big
I think
circle
the rest of them
with
are
a
about
center.
on their way come to
One
join.
in the
Yeah,
middle of the
So
street.
depending on where your
Try
spawn
right
point
in the middle
is,
of the
if you're
street.
always
They're
going
gonna
to the
probably
left,
try to flank
and
you.
yeah, there's a
Okay,
lot of
we got
areas
one
that
in
you're
the
not gonna
market.
Peeking,
necessarily
Trevor.
go.
You see him?
But again,
Oh, he
it's
got
gonna
you.
end up being a
Gotcha.
lot like any
Alright,
other
Ryan, there's
every other
one that's
map
gonna
where
be to
once
your
you know the
left in a
spawn
second,
points,
too, so be
There's
careful.
two in the street right now.
there's only a couple
moving
ways that you're
forward.
gonna end up going.
One's got an arrow. One's
The
got
other difference with this one, with the
CQB.
big map, is it
He's coming towards you right
I'd
now.
like to say it
Oh,
would
no.
allow
Okay.
time for people to be set up
Too many,
defensive
too many.
positions.
Way too many.
Yeah.
On the other side,
That's okay.
I
It's
should have
okay,
just
Ryan.
ran
You did
into
great.
the.
is it going to be like
Towards the laptop, yeah.
another newsroom where
Okay.
it's
We'll get
it
him
just
back.
seems to
They
be
had a good defense set up.
Exactly.
a
That's
map
okay,
that's
okay.
big that everybody's running around? You can't
Ryan,
really
you
push
could,
on it
yeah.
if you wanted to. And yeah, I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very,
FNF
very
review.
curious. I'm
Five
not
Nights at Freddy's Review 12. I'm
not
so
entirely
glad you get
sure
this
what they're
game
gonna-
tomorrow. I think you're really gonna
what they're
like
gonna
it.
do. I
know,
can't
so-
really tell how far apart the
I
spawn
gotta break
locations
games, dude.
are.
I know.
I
Hey,
know
everybody
most
hit
of the
that
time it
thumbs
feels
up for you. We got
like you
17
said,
people
once
watching
you
on
start
YouTube
getting
Live,
to know
so
the
come
spawn
on.
locations,
That map is
the
off
maps
right
feel
there. Let's
small
do this,
because you already know
let's
the
nut
route,
it
the best
again,
routes
maybe
to
do 2
take,
more rounds and
and
call
you
it?
generally take the same routes.
Yeah. What do you guys think? We got time? Yeah. What time is it?
But you also
Okay, cool.
mentioned
Yeah, one more series. Yeah, it's only 5:28.
it feels
We're good.
like on this map you'll be able to have
Alright, perfect.
time to set up
All right, everyone
and set up a proper defense.
Yeah,
And I don't know if
Crossbow
it's
is probably
because of the
most,
size of the map
feels
or
the
did they
best.
spawn
All right,
the
I'm
teams
happy.
further
Whenever
apart.
you're ready? Let's do it, Deej.
Trevinian.
Oh, Trevinian.
But they're not rushing in, so like it's hard to tell
Oh yeah.
how long
Alright,
it
boom, here
takes
we
for
go.
the attacking team to
If I
get to
paid
the
attention real
defense
quick, I
team.
probably could have seen my squad was, but you
Like,
know
it
what? We'll
just-
see once we get
I
into
don't know.
game.
It's so hard to tell.
Frankie Boy here hanging out with the First Contact Entertainment team, showing off some new Firewall 0-hour content. I bet you thought there wasn't anything coming, but boy, were you wrong. Yep, we got more stuff coming. Hey, there might even be more that we're going to show, but today we are just showing you the map. So definitely keep an eye on some of these Friday streams. Probably have another one.
So
as we
yeah,
get
it
closer
seems as though they're
closer
only
to
showing
the
off the
end
map.
of this
No
season.
other assets.
Also on Fridays we do community streams, so if you would like to join up, play with them, reach out to the Amateur Hour commentary guys, and they will definitely let you know what's going on and when you can stream, when you can join up, when you can play.
Never thought I'd hear our name shouted
Yeah,
out on
team,
the
everyone
channel,
has
dude.
lots to say, so definitely. If you want to play with us, we would love to have you.
It's craziness.
Who we got? We got DZ, we got Mikey, and who's our
Oh,
four?
this looks very similar to
Where's number
Prepper.
4?
Yeah.
From destroying the firewall, gaining access
Oh,
to
they
Where the
spawned
hell
on
is
the other
this?
side of the map, but that's okay.
This is inside the construction building, I think.
Progress.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you're
what I
right.
said. That's what I always tell them when they're watching.
This I think this resembles something on
I got a
Gauntlet.
jammer. I'm gonna play
Does it not?
upstairs.
Head by Trevor.
Oh man.
He crossbowed me on the base.
Oh, you can cross from one
Very,
side to
very
the other.
Yeah.
All right,
That's-
guys,
that's
let's hold it
cool.
down.
They're all creeping
That's
together
really cool.
in the
Oh, you
middle
can.
of the
Oh,
street.
what a
They're getting
cool.
away.
Yeah, setting a jammer up here would be great.
Firewall access point coordinate. Firewall access
You
point
could use this.
compromised.
Yeah, it's very
Hostiles
open,
detected and moving to
but
their
you could use it very
coordinates.
One's
tactically.
heading towards Market
Because it's
now.
so open, you can
He's
lure them to
entering
the jammer
Market
and
now.
just
The firewall is down.
murder them.
Laptop coordinates
Ian is
are
entering
Multiple hostiles
the lower,
incoming.
the other, the right side, kind of towards back of Market. Or
The
back
only
of,
problem I
office.
have with it, there's 2 stairwells up to this level. That'd be really hard to
All right,
defend
2 in-
just
2
by
in Market
yourself.
Now, 3 in Market now.
Okay.
Like there's a
There is one heading.
like
No, he's
this.
changed
Can
his
you get
mind.
up to that spot on the
There's
other
2
building
mid
there?
in
Across?
Market, one's going up the back.
That'd be wonderful.
Stairs.
Okay, someone's gonna see
2 are
that
coming mid.
proximity.
Yep. Towards you, Dion. At least
I mean,
2 are creeping up.
From
that-
this angle, we can't see if
they're
there's
in
any
that- they're in that
stairs.
hallway just before they turn towards you. They're coming up. 2 up there now. Yep, they're behind the garbage can. They're approaching.
The fact that you can go back and forth between these 2 buildings, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're
Look at
gonna
that,
be,
look at that
they're
space
taking off
up. It looks
that
like you can
hallway.
drop
Yep,
down.
They're circling around both of
Can
them.
you-
Both of them. Both of them.
I wonder if you can somehow get up there. If
There's
there's
another one
another
behind him.
route.
There's another one behind him.
Hostile down.
Another one behind him. He
A
ran
third
backwards.
level would
Yeah,
be.
He's got crossbow. Careful.
Man, could you
That might be
imagine
Trevor,
trying to pick
actually.
somebody off phones? I guess it'd be no higher than
Oh,
dogs.
it was.
Nice call.
No, no, it wouldn't.
Oh my god, I thought I had it.
But
I
it,
didn't think he was gonna go.
we've never seen a 3rd level on a single building before. So,
Careful, Mike, careful. Hold it down. We're good.
nice shots.
You should rush him. He's got an. He's got crossbow.
That crossbow shot.
No, you damn arrow.
What a shot by
Who's got up?
Trevor.
Who can get up? Oh, nobody,
Holy
nobody.
cow. He's
Neither
dead.
one
He's
of
dead.
us. We're both down. All right, but they got to get my jammer, which is not hidden
Trevor.
that well, but at least it's upstairs.
Man, I got Chris Kyled. That was insane.
Ugh.
Yeah, look how
That was a crazy
that
snap.
is so deceiving.
I
that
have
you
a good-
can't get up
I have
onto
a
the
good
3rd
clip of
level.
that,
That is
shot
so
by Trevor.
deceiving.
That was a crazy shot. How did he make that? That's
Well,
insane.
he killed himself. That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
nice.
I think
Blew
he's
himself
C4'd
up.
himself.
30 seconds remaining.
I still like the fact that you can go back and forth between those buildings, but man, I so desperately want to know if they're going to add stairs to go up to the 3rd floor, man.
Yeah, I definitely would.
All right, we
This
got
is
one
definitely
more.
a
We got
map
one
you
more. All right, we
want
got
to
it
take
this
a
time.
walk
We'll get him
around
this
in.
next time. Whew. Big thank you to everybody who came through, watching the stream.
It's called Black Site, right?
Always appreciate it. This was awesome. Thanks, Wolf Grays. Thanks for coming through, Randy Watson. Thanks for coming through, Babe Panero. Gabriel Lopez. What's up, buddy? Nino New Wink. Hey, what's happening? Black Teague at 3:30. What's happening? How you guys doing? Thank you for coming through to the stream. We got one more round.
One more
left
round.
on the Black Site. I'm gonna change up my loadout.
I definitely want to see more. I feel like we've seen the same spots, except for that construction site. That
snipe was insane.
definitely a little bit.
Nice
work.
It felt a little newer. We didn't really get a good visual of that.
Come on, let's do
before.
it. Let's do it real. Everybody got it?
I got
Crossbows?
a
I actually don't
You're
know
gonna
if I
do a
have it.
crossbow.
Okay, if you got it. If you got it. If not, don't worry about it.
I'd really like to do a deep dive on this and just look at it.
I got it.
You got it? Awesome.
Nice.
All
So
right.
there.
1 minute.
So this is definitely not
Got
going to
everybody
release
on this
until
side, got
after
crossbows?
the
Everybody on
extended
that side
date.
got 'em?
Yeah,
Oh, man, it's gonna
it's
be
going to be right afterwards, probably.
Yeah, we're doing crossbows only, dude. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go make a coffee real quick.
Got you over there.
Go for it, bro.
I don't have it. Hold up.
Oh,
Funny
you're good,
guy.
you're good, you're good. Take your time. No rush, buddy.
All right, here we go. I'm ready when everybody's
Hold on, we're just waiting on Ryan, I think. Ryan.
Hurry out, Ryan.
Which pistol do you guys use with it?
Ryan, Daryl left.
I'm scrolling as fast as I can.
Come on, do I have
There we
enough?
go.
Yes, yes, I can buy. Yes.
I've also
All right,
got the
awesome.
crossbow in my primary and secondary equipment.
I like
slots.
how we're playing on our dev build and no one's like tricked out at all with their cosmetics.
That's funny. So I already have feelings about this
We're just
map.
keeping it nice.
I'm gonna reserve my opinions and thoughts about it until after they're going into the last round.
Let's do it.
Hornet, man.
I'm definitely gonna share my thoughts.
Ian just let us know. I don't know if you heard that or not. He said he is a murder hornet. I thought he was a killer
I thought
bee.
he was a killer
so,
bee.
yeah.
Jeez.
So right in the side
Come
there.
on,
Now, big
man.
thank you to everybody that came through and watched the stream. You're awesome. Thank you to everybody that plays the game. You are great. Anybody coming through? Beniro, Cougar Hunter, what's happening, Cougar Hunter? I let him know that you said.
Yeah, I'm loving the time of day.
Thank you for coming through. End Zone in the house. Shady Joker, what's up, Shady Joker? Anything other than this great map? End Zone, today we will not be
It's
showing
not.
anything other than this amazing map, but that doesn't mean we don't have more to show you. Yes, definitely keep an eye on our First Contract live streams, which will be coming every random Friday, every now and again. No, normally we do community streams on Fridays. Today we did a special dev stream. Keep an eye out. We'll definitely let you know a day or so beforehand when they come.
All right, guys, we're going to the next one here. Again, like you get vibes from the other maps. I don't mind them using different or the same assets from other maps. It gives you a bit of a nostalgic feeling. It sounds silly to call it nostalgia because it's not lifetimes ago, you know. But that familiarity makes you a little bit more comfortable, I can assume. Look at how. Did you see how tall that fire hydrant was?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring me
It was like a
down little bit.
stick. It wasn't even thick.
All right.
All right, going in opening market door.
Gotta save some.
You know
All right, I
that
didn't see
square
anyone
design
immediately in market on the
reminds
left
me of
side,
like a
but that means
Japanese
nothing.
clan logo or something like that.
All right.
Oh, look at that fountain. That'd be so cool if they could get the fountain going, man.
I'm gonna come to
Oh,
you.
have that.
Oh, I heard one.
Look at this.
Yeah, so the face of that other market looked very familiar to the market, or very similar to the market over on District.
You're hitting the building. You're hitting the building.
I'm trying to get under it.
Oh, that one went.
Oh, I got somebody.
You got him?
Oh my
Oh!
god. Oh my god.
Nice shot.
I got somebody.
All right, moving on to the construction site again.
Oh god, I'm peeking. I'm peeking.
Oh, you can go into that building. What? Really? Oh, Frank, go peek in there.
You are?
Yep.
Okay.
Go peek.
Okay. All right. I'm engaging.
All right.
Wish you could hear me, man.
All right.
Oh, threw flash up. Oh! Oh, man. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you're really far
Oh, I
ahead
got
of me
one
now.
down. One down. Oh no! Hey! Hey! You shot me with a gun.
But across from the construction site, You can actually go into that market building.
Hey, cheated. He's using a gun.
Oh no!
No, he's cheating. He's cheating. He's shabby. I threw a flash.
Dion, I think you're last man standing.
Careful, D. You're last man standing. They're all over there. Someone wants to cheat.
Are they flanking me?
Frank's a bit salty
not yet.
about
Somebody just dropped
getting
down
killed
to
there by
come find you.
Shavs.
Probably T.
Yeah, that's why I'm following.
Nope, that's not T.
All right, so like there, it
He's still
seems
on
like there's
construction
quite a
site, though.
few
Yeah, he's
buildings
on the
you can
construction
go
site. Right,
into.
Ian. That is Ian, right?
Oh, nice.
Mortar Hornet?
Yeah, that is Ian. He just jumped down. No, he's still up top. He's still up top.
They got a jam or two.
Yeah, it looks like they threw in some new buildings
Yeah,
with
go through that door. And
some
he's at
new
the top of the
accessories
stairs,
added to
pointing in the
them.
wrong direction. Get a quick shot. Quick shot.
but they've reused a lot of assets. Still looks nice though. Palm trees. Those palm trees have to be from compound.
He is cleaned up.
He is a-
Jesus. He is good.
He is a good shot.
It looks good though. I like the look
Yes.
of the map.
Mukai, what's happening? Mini Me and Big Me, thank you. X29 Raptor, thanks for coming through to the stream there. Only one God. Thank I know
Fully
you cheated, you
automatic
cheated. It's always
crossbow.
shabby.
That's
Mandu
funny.
Rooster, thank you for coming through. I know. That's what I'm saying. Fully automatic
We
crossbow,
have a double
right?
crypto event
Someone
going
had
on
that
right
fully
now, and a double
automatic
XP
crossbow.
event May 26th to June 23rd, which is
Even
the
the
new
chat saw
time
that somebody
frame.
was
So
using, not a crossbow
someone
there
pops
to
in. Why do
take
people
out.
always do this?
I
They
think we need to
always
redo
pop
that
into
one,
the chat and
exactly.
they
We gotta
say
do one
need
more.
team deathmatch
Who's
or
that?
need
See,
another
no
mode,
grenades?
need
That's
this, need
the-
that. It's like guys,
I threw a
they already
flash
said they're not
grenade,
going
but
to
I
do
threw
that.
a
Someone was
real
using a
You
gun.
can say it all you want,
Someone
but
was
they're
using
not
a
going
gun.
to do that.
Yeah, that was BS.
Should we switch to non?
Hey,
Like, you're
kind
kinda
of
wasting-
Arrows,
like,
you gotta use your
I
knife.
can't put it nicely. You're wasting your breath if you're
Exactly.
No
Sticks and
grenades.
stones.
asking
No
for those
grenades.
things. It's just
No
not
grenades
gonna
this
happen.
side.
No grenades, no nothing. Just
Hey,
crossbow.
That's what Elvis
long
for.
shot. The
Yeah.
first
That's what what?
I got you.
That's
That
what
long shot
Elvis
was
for.
nice. That long shot was nice.
Yeah, that's
Kill
right.
though.
That's exactly
You
right.
got revived. Kill
All right,
me.
wait, we got the right map. Yeah, let's do
Speaking
this.
of Alvo,
everybody, don't
Steve was
forget to-
actually he was messaging me.
Anything
Oh,
else?
Hey,
nice.
don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what he was going to say right there. Now, big thank you to everybody coming through and watching the stream. I know I said the last one was going to be the last match, but we had some
All right, so
cheater
they're gonna do
mixed
one more
team
round because
skaters
they
on the
because
team.
Shabs was using an assault rifle instead.
We're gonna have to do this again. Now, big thank you, like I said, to everybody coming through. Alb Next Gen, thank you for coming through. Nee BR, what's happening, buddy? Titch 1987, what's up, Titch? Titch is one of the AHC guys, amateur hour commentary guys. Now, if you would like,
Yeah, I
smash
already
that
did
thumbs
that.
up for us while you're here.
Throwing knife only, that'd be cool.
Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed to First Contact's channel. So that you
Well,
can get
I was getting
notifications
ready
like
to
you get
actually
hit the
just
little
share my
bell.
thoughts and
You want
opinions about
notifications
the
for
map,
when we
but I
live
got to
stream,
reserve them
especially
for
when
another
we're doing
round.
it on
Let's see if we can
videos
get
on this channel.
some
But
more
there's gonna be some
locations
nice,
here
awesome trailers,
on screen.
awesome,
I'd really
awesome
like
live
to.
streams, fun things
I'd
to
really
watch.
like
Where's our
them to
fourth
go.
dude? All right, well, we got intel.
Oh wow, they have a
Spawned
glitch
real
here.
far again.
Someone is spawned
Protect the
way
firewall
far away from them.
and the data on that laptop
That's
will
unfortunate.
be live.
I'm trying to.
I'd really like to see that market right next to like
Problem is, I
right next to that
think,
construction site.
I think they're spawned
They
somewhere
didn't go
in
in
the
there
middle
last
area.
time.
I think Trevor
Hostiles at
is
the firewall access point locations and
watching
are
the
moving
stream,
to
so
them.
he knows
Get
I spawned
cracking.
behind you guys.
Uh-oh. Damn it. Oh, yeah, Shabs is watching stream,
So
too.
that I remember when that was a thing.
Cheaters.
Do you remember when
Exactly.
you died and then suddenly you would spawn or something would happen?
I know where they just went.
Do you remember that glitch?
Did they? Okay.
No.
Two coming my way.
Yeah, a glitch used to happen where if you died,
They're in there.
it almost seemed like you get disconnected. All of a sudden you'd appear, but
By the fountain.
it would load you in
I did
somewhere
not
else on the
peek there
map.
yet, Mike.
Usually you'd end up
I
being
am only
behind
peeking.
the
I'm
enemy team.
counter-striking it through this tiny little,
that's
like,
hilarious.
peephole I got.
Is that what happened there?
I think so.
Very close to you.
Yeah, that was a glitch a long time ago.
Ooh,
They
nice,
fixed it.
nice,
So I
nice.
don't
Good
know.
man. Good man.
Happened here.
Is-
Alright, Doty got him from behind.
Well, you know, sometimes those old bugs can always come back. Oh, and he goes down.
Two down.
Oh, no, right around the corner.
Nice
Mike,
pick
right
up.
around
Oh
the corner,
my
Mike.
god, he's gonna be a porcupine by the
Oh,
end
no, I'm
of
down
this.
again. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about me. Get him. Oh, nice. Thank you, Mike. Oh, I'm down again. Oh, okay. It's okay. Kept him busy. Kept him busy.
Stab him! Stab him! Run at him!
I can. He's on the other side of the.
There we go.
Alright, where are the rest of these?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It looks
Alright,
bigger
awesome. And that's
than
how
some
we
of the
do it.
other
Ryan
maps.
Fitzgibbon,
I don't know
thank
if
you
it's
for
just
coming through.
because of
Skylar, thank you for
the
coming
horizon has been
X29
extended,
Raptor, once again, you're awesome.
or if
20
it
votes, we got
legitimately is
13.
bigger.
All right,
It's
throw a
it's
knife,
hard to
kill, 6
tell.
matches. All right.
It definitely
Boom,
feels
boom,
bigger.
boom. That is it for our stream today. Big thank you to everybody coming through. Now, this is the now. Thank you for checking out the new map Blackside. Like I said, this is all we're showing off today. We might have some more stuff to show you in the future, but keep an eye on this channel. Big thank you to everyone from First Contact for taking time out of their day to come through and stream. You guys are awesome. And
Thank you. Thanks,
also
Thanks
for
for watching.
working hard, especially during this time.
Well, that was
That's hard
fun.
work. Everybody's been
Nice
pumping
seeing
out
the new
content,
map.
working on all this great stuff, and we can't wait to get it in your hands. And it's coming sooner than you think. But yeah,
Let's
thank you
see,
for
I'm
coming
just
through the
looking
stream.
at
And we'll see you
their
again
chat
soon.
here.
All right.
See you later,
Awesome.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
everybody.
See ya.
It seems like some people are enjoying it. Let's see. Someone said district plus complex plus fob equals new map. That was from PSVR Brazil. Yeah, a lot of people are recognizing a lot of the crossover.
Yeah. It definitely looks like you, like I said, I a lot of positives, a lot of potential negatives.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those ones where you kind of have to play it and see how it feels. I do like the tiered buildings. Like within like you look at like none of the other maps really have something like this. Like we're in the middle, or like in buildings around the map, you have second floors, like open windows, or you know. So that's kind of cool. I like that, and I like that it's bright and not dark. One of my issues with one of the things I hate about District is it's so dark.
Yeah, you can argue the same thing about Docks. You know, it's again
Docks the same
another
way.
outside map.
Yeah.
Super dark.
Yeah. But again, it's like hiding in corners and things like that, and it's part of the game. I get it, but I definitely like to be a little bit more tactical in the shooting rather than the jump out of a dark corner shadow surprise.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like the time of day. Dusk is perfect. You know, you still get that sense like you are in the Middle East, because it is in the Middle East. We got another Middle East map. I was hoping for a different part of the world, but you get what you get. And you get the sense that you are in the Middle East, but it still feels very fresh, very new. I think the highlight of this entire map, actually two highlights of this entire map. One being the marketplace, which is awesome. Love it. Very dense and full of just stuff to get in your way, which is always fun. And the construction site. I like the fact that there's a plank between the two buildings and you can run back and forth. I think that could be a very fun location to have some gunfights, set up some defenses.
Yeah.
I'm just going back in the VoD to see.
The other thing too, we saw it early on, but I don't know if we saw it again. If the grenades actually caused like a bit of a storm or a bit of a sand screen.
Yeah, I think I'm at that spot to see it.
That, or somebody just happened to throw a smoke grenade at that exact time.
Well, I just saw it. It's at about 30 minutes in. 30 minutes and 7 seconds. I'm going to listen real quick. No, I think that was a smoke. Yeah, someone even said a smoke. No, wait, hold on. Someone threw a smoke first. So someone initially threw a smoke, but then someone threw a grenade after.
And it just happened to spawn at the same time as the grenade explosion?
Oh,
that's what it
geez,
looks.
I don't know. That's so close. If you go to time marker,
I already closed it off, so I'm just gonna trust you.
Oh.
New map looks badass. Yeah, for sure. I definitely like it, Vong. It's definitely gonna be
good. I think it was coincidence. Because I saw the black
just lined
smoke
up absolutely perfect. Because as soon as that grenade blew off, and it was like, I was like, dude, did that just create like the environmental interaction with that? It would be phenomenal and look really cool.
It's so close because someone threw a smoke first, and then as soon as the impact goes, you can see the black smoke, but then sitting behind it is a little bit more smoke. Yeah, someone threw a second smoke. No joke, dude. Like literally,
It's kind of sad.
it was just. It is kind of sad.
I was gonna be
But,
like that. That was such an awesome touch if they had actually done that. That would have been a phenomenal little addition.
That would have been really cool. Forget smokes, man. Just bring grenades and you got smoke right after.
Well, you got a slight dust storm right afterwards. Would have been cool, but it is what it is.
So what are your initial thoughts? How do you feel? What did you like? What did you not like?
Again, I like the tiered of the build. I like the tiered setup of the map. Having multiple levels within the building that with open windows that you can sort of shoot from is nice. I like the lighting. The coloring of everything is nice. The map itself, like detail color wise, ambiance looks really good. What I don't like, and I can't say I don't like it because we haven't actually been able to play it, is potentially the size of the map. You know what I mean? Like it looks big, but again, it's hard to tell because they didn't actually just spend a couple of minutes and go, here's a new map and gotta do a walk around through it and sort of see. But again, it's like newsroom. It's like, is it one of those big giant maps where it's a cluster to get through, or like there's just too many different ways and too many different sort of areas? But because it's outdoors, it kind of narrows that down to almost like street ways, as if it was like a hallway, right? But again, that causes a lot of choke points. Right? You get somebody, you sit back and you let somebody start coming up that alleyway, and then, well, there's not a lot of cover that they can take. You know what I mean? So it's definitely tactics. I think are definitely going to become a huge play in it. But the size of the map could be a downside.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being an issue. Again, I think it comes down to the familiarity of the map. So many times we get new maps and it feels bigger. Like even Oil Rig. When I first ran through Oil Rig, I was like, this map is huge. There's so many different ways you could go, so many different things you can do. And after playing it a bunch of times, it started feeling small again. So I think familiarity has a lot to do with that. But what I do like, and this is also to your point of it being big, it may only feel big because it's so dense. There's so much stuff in the map. Usually we have a few cars here and there. We might have a few boxes here and there, but here there's just so much shit in the way.
Well, so
up, Cougar?
Here's the way I look at it. Let's break it down into sections, right? So we saw sort of the middle marketplace. Outside of the marketplace, we had the satellite area. We had an area that went out where Frank was at the edge of the map there. We got those double doors, so there's like a back area. And then we have that construction building, which is the third area. So, I mean, you've got like 4 different main areas. So when you look at it as sort of like a run distance, very it could be fob like in size, maybe bigger, a little bit bigger than fob. But run distance would be shorter than something, say like I picture Embassy. Like if you have to go from lobby to say second floor, you know what I mean? Like depending on which route you take, like there's a lot of up the stairs and backtracking, right? So there's a lot of stuff like that. So I don't know. It's multi-layered, but it's
I mean, you
almost,
do
it's
make the
almost
point like
quadrated.
you're making the point like there's a bunch of sections to the one map, and each section is unique from itself. You have the market, you have the satellite, you have uh, um, the construction. You have all these different sections, and they're very unique from each other, yet still somehow familiar to all the other maps that we already have. And you jumble them all together, and it feels quite large. But again, like you said, the run, the
actual
time to
footprint.
run, yeah, the time to run from one location to another may be very similar to some of the other maps that we already have. It's hard to tell, like you said, they didn't just do a run through, so it's all speculation at this point, and we'll have to feel it out.
Ask them if we can test it for Drunk Fest. I can ask, but I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, man. Probably not, because it's not even finished. Like, we still got into June.
Yeah, they're running on like test builds or something, I'm sure.
But what I like, if I were to pick something that I like most about it, is how dense it is. I like that there's shit in the way. Like, I like that. It makes it feel more real. Some of the others are just like, they feel like there's stuff in it, but not anything like. I don't know.
I'm gonna level you with you on as far as the assets go. So everybody bitches about the reused assets.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, how much longer would it take to get a map out, didn't reuse, and say resplatter some, change some the art?
Oh man, I don't care that they're reusing assets. It's
something that a lot of people complain about. That it's like, it's just reused assets from this, and this. But yeah, but you have look at all the stuff that is new though.
But also, yeah, and think about the location. This is back in the Middle East. If you go to District, these cinder block walls are the same because it's in the Middle East. The same with the markets. They're very similar to
I mean, if you had like
because it's in the Middle East.
If you had some like really rare, purple heart wood from the Amazon forest, probably seem a little out of place. But I mean, I'm not like an arborist or anything. I don't know a lot about trees, but probably not native to the Middle East.
Definitely not.
Although I'm not sure if palm trees are native to.
Actually, I found out that they are.
They are.
Yeah. They're.
Actually, it's funny that you say that. What was it that palm trees are not native. That's right. Palm trees are not native to the United States. They're brought over from Iceland, I heard.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not too surprised about that.
Yeah. Long time ago. I don't remember where I read that. But yeah, it was something like they were brought over from Iceland and just sort of grew from there. But yeah.
That's crazy. I'm looking at the marketplace again, and I have to correct myself. Before, I had mentioned that the pagoda in the middle seemed like it was already used on Compound. I'm looking at a still image. It's a completely different one. It's a brand new one that's over the fountain.
Are you talking about out front of Compound?
Yeah, you know how like right next to the Jeeps where the entrance is? I thought it was
pagoda?
those.
Or is it just sort of a...
It looks like a canopy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's not something that came from Compound. So that's definitely new. The fountain's new. I want them to add running water to that. How cool would that be to have the fountain drops going while you're in the middle of a gunfight, just hearing the flow of the water from the fountain? That'd be really, really cool if they could add that.
Is it too much to have it turn red if I shoot somebody at?
That might be a little too much, but with future patches...
I'm paying attention to detail here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but so far, like, yeah, the maps are dense. I have to give them that. I really appreciate it. It feels more lived in, which is a phrase I don't often use, but like it feels lived in, like people are actually there. Some of the other maps just feel dead. I also agree with you. The time of day, perfect.
Yeah,
like
it's like late afternoon.
Yeah, like perfect dusk time where
Yeah.
like the market is completely covered in shadow, but right behind the market you have this cascade of light just pointing at the mosque, like it's completely lit up. It's a really cool, like, I don't know, really cool perspective. Good use of lighting and depth. I think FCE has always made good or had a good lighting system. It looks really good.
District.
What?
Just the lighting aspect. I don't know.
With regards to that, yeah. No,
There's a
no, I
like
know
you
what you
look
mean.
at some of the maps, like a lot of them have very dark, shadowy corners.
Mm-hmm.
Like districts, very dark. Like I have really good eyesight. Like I got 20/20 eyesight, but sometimes, man, and
Mm-hmm.
running red dot too.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's like barely seeing a pixel move, and it's just like a shade of gray, and it's like what? I think that's
Yeah.
somebody. You know what I mean? Like it's
Uh-huh.
so having it much brighter, is nice. Like I said, that's definitely
Yeah.
something that's way better.
But I do like the variation of lighting. You know, some areas are super bright because they're super reflective material, and then others are a little bit different. Like in terms of that lighting, they do a good job. Again, like I like the size of them. I like the way the map looks and plays. It seemed to play pretty well. I really wanted to see inside the freaking market, dude. I saw that you could go inside, and they never went inside. That was frustrating. But obviously, we're not going to be able to see everything.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of places. It's definitely a map that I think you're gonna spend some time running around to get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's gonna be like those sections, right? So like, the laptop spawns here defensively. Like, is it so like that construction site area? You know, we got the second floor. Can we get to the third floor? Very good
Dude,
question.
there is a cutout
Yeah,
on
but
the
okay,
ceiling
that
of the
doesn't
second
necessarily
floor.
mean anything.
No, I know it doesn't mean anything, but they've used those drop floors before, like on Oil Rig. You know, they
Yeah,
have that.
it could still
And they
change.
used
So
it
maybe
on
they haven't
the
put it in
Gauntlet.
yet. Does have it.
I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. It's definitely still in the works. I can't wait just to go, like you said, Titch, just to go around and explore.
And see actually how it feels. It looks like
Yeah,
it could
'cause-
feel really well. What, like if you break it up into quadrants, like we had said, it looks like it could play really well. One of my main concerns is with a lot of the, even sometimes with fob, you know how you sort of like go to push, and then you end up sort of going one way, and the other team ends up going another, and then you're basically doing this full lap of the map.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff I don't really like. So sort of like almost like if you picture like almost like a figure eight. You know what I mean? So like I like the maps where they like when they're split into quadrants like that. So like if everything has to go through the market, amazing.
It feels like that.
Because
I was
that
just
means
gonna
at least
mention.
you have somewhat of a point where everybody has to meet. You know what I mean? So one of the biggest things that people have always said is, you know, aggressive players pushing is killing this game, and nobody defends. Everybody just attacks. And to be honest, we've all done it. We've all played maps where we're just like, we get a spawn location, we're like, quick, just run to this door, and we'll just, you know. So if everything funnels through that marketplace, it creates almost it kind of prevents that. And that's really what I'm interested to see.
It's interesting you had mentioned that because I was legitimately thinking that same exact thought. Most of the time, it seemed like they were on the edge of the center of the map, almost always moving from one location to another. Like you could always see out of the corner of their FOV the market right there in the middle. So it's almost inevitable that you're going to end up either seeing the team or crossing that location and running into that. Like, I think that's the choke point, the primary choke point of the map. Just kind of like a newsroom, you know how the broadcast table, a lot of people end up running into each other there, or at least really darn close to it.
But it doesn't, because there's two whole other hallways on either side of like the
There
broadcaster's
are,
desk. There's
but
like
you know,
6
but
rooms
you
and 2
know,
hallways behind it, and then a hallway to the left, arguably 2 if you consider like behind the panels on either end.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it has this big circle with like 2 potential. It's like a circle and then a circle and then broadcasting booths. So it's
but I feel like teams almost always go through the broadcasting room. Like that's what I'm saying is like inevitably there is going to be a point. Like arguably, yes, you could go around the broadcast room entirely.
You know how
You
many
could also make the
times
argument here too.
I've had that happen on
Mm-hmm.
Newsroom where like I'll cut through the map, like you're saying, like cut through the booths or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Find out where the laptop is. It's usually in the back right or whatever. So you head down through the other booth, and then all of a sudden you see, as you come out one door, you see that like the door is open because the team pushed and they're trying to flank from around. But meanwhile, you came and sort of cut through the middle. So now it's like this game of chase, or it becomes that you were attacking, but now you're defending the hack of the laptop.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you could make the argument for this map too. Like that's inevitably.
Which is
gonna
why I was
happen.
saying, like, if everything funnels and like, if they space the laptops and the spawn points appropriately, if the map is laid out in that way, that if you are in defense, if you were to push forward and you were to go, and the attacking team, to be honest, everybody does, were to go, you would basically meet the marketplace at the same time. And it helps prevent that shit if you can funnel it to a one central location and only have like 2 ways out. But the only way to do those is to go through, like, you know what I mean?
I hear you, but I don't think that the quadrants are isolated. I think that they all connect in some way. So you're still going to be having that ring around the rosy situation where people are chasing each other.
The only thing with this is always because it looks like there's the higher buildings that you'll be able to go into, as well as there was some very long alleyways.
Yeah,
would give you good and very early detection of potential flanks, or being able to see which way a team is sort of trying to rotate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you might not necessarily funnel directly into the marketplace. Maybe there's a place off to the left or right that you can sort of bypass it. But being in the marketplace with the hall or with the alleyways would be able to sort of see which way the team is sort of trying to rotate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Like, to me,
I think you can make that argument for just about any map, though.
Not really. Like, look at FOB. There's no way for you to. There's no way to funnel it, or for you to see if people are. Same thing with for FOB.
But there is what's up, Rick?
You can sit on the watchtower of FOB, not see the end of the middle alley or down the center of the map, or see the containers like at the end of the edge of the map where the containers are, because of the way the sandstorm is. So you can't really see if they were to go towards the training facilities or try to go around the tents. Just because.
Yes, and I agree with you on that. I'm not debating that, but people who've played FOB long enough have reasonably assumed if they don't see him going in one direction, they're rotating. And if they're not rotating, they're sitting on spawn. I think you're going to run into the same situation here. Just because you got the long alleyways doesn't mean you're not going to. That doesn't mean you're going to automatically see them and know that they're rotating.
But that's what I'm saying is, if you're sitting on that watchtower on FOB, you cannot see. Yes, logically you could say they're rotating, but you could not see which way.
Aren't you making the argument that you'd be able to see them here?
That's what I'm saying, with the long alleyways. Because the way the alleyways were set up in the market, if everything was sort of funneling, looked like there was doors on either side, and then there was an alleyways going out that way, and then sort of like so if you're in the marketplace, right, and you're watching, say, the hallway on your left, if you're looking towards what looked to be going towards the construction area, say you were having a fight going straight on towards the construction area, right? And now, because of the way the way the alleyways are, and it's not a dust storm, you'd be able to see, say, down the alleyway to your left, and see somebody flanking around, or see down that alleyway that they've fucked off to your left. Now it's a visual cue that you guys have to sort of rotate, because you can see the distance that you can't in FOB.
Yes. But then again, you're still making the assumption, because they could go the other way. Like, they could arguably go any way. I get your point. I get your point. Like, because there's
okay,
nothing.
I'm gonna level with you here.
Blocking
If you
your
can't
view.
see them, no, you don't know which way they're going. But my point was, when you actually sort of making contact or at a distance, my point was on FOB, on a larger, like, there are no other large maps. Districts doesn't count to me, because there's only one place that they could be. If you come up the right side of the construction marketplace, right, they're only going to be one area. That's the other side or up top. You know what I mean? And if you're having a long distance fight and they back off, logically there's only one place that they can rotate to, and that's up the back. What I'm saying with this map is, at a long distance, if you see them, if you're having a long distance gunfight and you see them back off and go in a particular direction, right? Now, at least it sort of divides, or it gives you a different place to rotate to. There's multiple ways out for that to be, and cause the fight to shift into different areas. But what I'm saying is, with FOB is the only other long range map that has multiple places that you can go. Right? So if somebody's in, right? If somebody were standing watchtower, and you were having a fight with somebody down the main opening, down the main path, if they backed up towards the tents, you have at that point have no idea, because the way the sandstorm is, you have no idea if they went around the tents towards containers, or if they went off to the training area.
But making the comparison with FOB is difficult because of the weather effects. This map doesn't have it. If I were to compare this to any other map that has some long range fighting mechanics in it, I would compare it to Gauntlet, because that has multiple layers. It has areas where a lot of long gunfights occur on either end of the map, and there are different avenues you can take. So, like, again, like, what, to your point, if you're sitting on the plane and you see them move from the box room to either left or right, you know that you need to rotate.
Yeah.
And I get that.
But this is
but I think it comes back around to the original point you were making, is if they can funnel the action through the marketplace,
or
it would be
or limit the number of pathways. Like, if there was only 2 pathways other than market, is sort of what I'm saying. Just to prevent that sort of map rotation that FOB and Newsroom have become known for. Is sort of my point, right? That defensive team pushing an attacking team, but they pushed the wrong way because the spawn or because of the way the spawn points was, the attacking team went left instead of right, and now you've got these teams that are doing this rotation around the map, and they end up doing full 360s to get around.
I get what you're saying. I think initially when this map launches, you're going to see a more tactical approach where people are going to run into choke points, and you're going to see particular locations on the map that are going to experience a lot more activity. I think with time, like every other map, despite how large it is, you're still going to get that
Later,
circling.
Mike. Have a good night, dude.
So like here, yes, you could go through the map, you could go left, right. People will see exactly where you're going, and yes, you can make those rotations. But if the defensive team is still an aggressive team and pushes forward, the same as the attacking team would push forward, you still run the risk of getting that rotation, kind of like how you were explaining over on Newsroom. If you're on the attacking team and you push, and the defending team is pushing too, you're going to walk right past each other because of the areas that you're going.
That's what I was saying with the size of the marketplace, or if you're limiting the number of ways in and out, so like those 2 doors that we saw, right?
But I don't think they are though. I think there's more accessibility than what they showed. What's up, Karen? No, he's not encouraging fighting. He's not encouraging
fight, I guess. Like that. All right. When they lift the travel restrictions, I'll drive down. We'll duke it out.
And we're not technically fighting.
We're discussing.
We're arguing different points of view on how people play maps. And
I'm explaining about I'm explaining about how a choke point is important for a game like Firewall, and Wolf was saying about how he was wrong.
No, I wasn't saying that you were wrong.
No, you were wrong.
I wasn't saying I was wrong. I think choke points are important, but they're not. It's not going to happen.
It needs, and that's what I was saying about balance. In order to balance a map, that's what they need to do.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. They because if they're going to make, as we saw, they're making quite a large map, or so it seems, and they're not going to limit it to, pretty much straight line gunfights.
But tactically, when you think about it, we said the map was sort of split into quadrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's assume that there are 4 points of entry into Marketplace.
Yep.
If Marketplace is the central hub, you've got 2 from either side of the map, and then you've got a 5th for that side satellite area, right? So we got 4 that we saw with sort of 4 main areas.
Yeah,
that area behind the market, the construction area in front of the market, and then off to the side, the satellite area. So if you have 5 areas into that area, then if you treat the quadrants individually, but you still have, because that construction area still had a bunch of alleyways, the building and stuff like that. So you can still treat those quadrants within their own choke points, but the actual map itself, you filter through a smaller point, so you don't have that rotation. So you can still have choke points and strategic spaces within that quadrant, within that construction area, but ultimately, moving through that market prevents this, long ways rush around. That makes sense? Because even if you're in the starting or in the construction quadrant, if you were to try to flank around, if the attacking team does a slow push, by the time you flank around and they're watching their 6 or whatever, you're not really gonna come all the way back from where you came. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. It gives you a choke point to prevent the rotation of being able to completely flank around a team back to where their spawn point was. That's the word. That's what I need to state. To prevent you being able to get around a team, get back to their starting point, and come up from behind is what you need to prevent.
Yes. I hear you, and I'm not disagreeing that choke points aren't necessary, but I think the stylistic nature of their map design forces teams to think about creating choke points. Think about all the tactical and lethal equipment that they give you.
Which it does create a choke point. If you do that, if you bounce the map so you cannot get to the other person's spawn
without running into the other team.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
I hear
still
you.
Open. So therefore,
but the map is definitely not laid out that way, and I don't think they're going to do that.
Which is why which is if they watch this, number 1. Pay attention. We need that to balance maps. Number 2, next time what they should do is they should do an actual walkthrough of the map.
Yeah, I agree. The walkthrough
because
of the map
part of
has
it
been
was
great.
us mentally having to sort of create a map based on where the spawn points happened and based on familiar sites of where we came across.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I picture this sort of T shape with the construction area, the satellites, market, and then that back section.
Yeah, and not have those quadrants connect in any sort of way. It forces teams to move through certain locations. No, I get you.
Yes.
I've been following you this whole time. I'm just saying, my point in this conversation was that that's not how this was laid out. So, do they need to do something like that? I think it'd be fun to throw in maps like that. Sure, 100%. I think they need that. I mean, look at Shoot House. Shoot House was a perfect example. It was a small map, so inevitably you're going to run into the team quick.
Mhm.
But there was a central location that you had to cross, and you were always going to be spotted regardless. Like you couldn't. It'd be very difficult to walk around and try to get behind the team on that map. So there were forced choke points there. This map is definitely not set up in that T shape. I think overall, like if you were to draw a design, sure, it would look kind of like a T, but everything's kind of interconnected, and teams are definitely going to have to force themselves to create choke points and really force the other team to move a different way.
So Vong,
it's going to be pretty strategic.
So I got a question for Vong. If he's still here. As far as I know, what my choice would be on this, or even Rick, if you're still here. It's league play. You have a map. You have a map pick. Do you pick a map where, tactically speaking, you have a good defensive position and a good, or you're gonna have a shootout, and it becomes aim, or something along those lines, where it's more skill in order for you to get that win? If this map is, as you say it is, where you have, say, 12 different alleyways that you can go down, it's almost like it's a quick and easy victory on attack, but a very hard defensive. So in league play, you look at it as it's a free win on attack, but it's a high loss on defense. Right? So the map is almost a wash as far as league play goes.
This particular map you're talking about?
Yes, if the map does have 12 different alleyway openings.
Yeah. I mean, really, that there needs to be a map pick or a map removal. Each team gets to pick a map pool. No. Well, that's the thing. Like that's not what he's talking about, though. He's asking.
Would you pick a map that has a central choke point? So, say this map had to go through the marketplace. You want going through the marketplace creates a singular choke point where the two teams would have to meet. If they both push forward, they would have to meet in that one area, where you could say have a defensive position there, and then if you had to, you could fall back and get a secondary defensive position. Where on attacking, as an attacking team, so to clarify for Rick, in league play, when you pick a map, you do attack and you do a defense on that map pick. So in this situation, you have a much stronger defensive stance, where it's going to come down to who's got the better shots, better positioning, et cetera, and becomes a little bit more tactical. So to get that win on an attacker, it's a little harder. But if you get that win on your defensive side, when you play that map on defense, you've also got a good defensive position where you can also hold off and gain another point. If the map is like Wolf says it is, where there's a lot of different angles, and if there's so many different places to come from, your risks of flanks are incredibly high, which means now you have to have a person basically out of the fight covering the flank, or you're going to have to keep track of how many people that are in the fight and who, if anybody's left that fight. And it's creating, like, as far as the attacking team, you're going to get that victory easier because it's easier to come from multiple different angles. You can take four different points and come in with an absolute nasty pinch. you're gonna get that win, so you're gonna get the point for the win. But on the defensive side, when you do the defense of that map, you're in the same boat where you're at a big disadvantage because you've got so many different angles to cover. So in league play, to me, it doesn't make sense to pick that map.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna win
ladder,
it, but you're
right?
gonna lose it. Yeah,
The
exactly.
ladder?
Having
Okay.
12 different entry points means that I'm gonna win the map, but I'm gonna lose the map. So effectively, that map is a wash. If I'm leading, if I'm in the lead, and I'm against a team. Okay, so let me put it this way: it would be a map I would use if we're in league play. I'm up by 2 maps, and it's last map pick. I'm gonna pick a map like that because I want the map to be a wash. I want to win one, lose one, and walk away with a 2-0 victory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like up 2 maps. I'm gonna take the victory, but I'm gonna lose one, and I'm gonna basically cause it a wash.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. Strategically in picking maps, yeah, you might not want something that there's a higher risk of you losing on defense. Totally agree with that. But to Rick's point, forcing a single lane for league play.
It doesn't need to be a single lane, which is what I was saying.
No, it doesn't need to be a single lane, but
it needs to be less than like the 6.
Arguably, it filters everyone through central locations.
Yeah, but so that central location doesn't.
It forces engagement where a team might not want to engage quite yet.
That's where the tactics come in.
Yes, but you could also argue the opposite. It all depends on the play style of the team. Your team would definitely benefit from a more direct approach, 100%. But there are teams that are much stronger on defense, regardless of how many avenues that the attacking team can take. I think it really depends. What matters most.
So if it was my team, and you have a map like that, you're gonna play the map to the advantage. So if you have 6 different ways that you can come in, I'm gonna force that team to either A, spread themselves out, and then your team quickly converges or gathers up on one area, forcing the other team to have to react, which gives you that early edge on the initial fight. You maybe kill somebody, then you disengage or whatever, try and pick them off that way. Or B, if they're all holed up in one section, cause a flank, and then you can play mind games, etc. As it's just from the defensive standpoint, you're at such a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem with maps like that. Attacking, fine, it's great, easy win. You run in there, throw a bunch of grenades.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, from what we saw tonight, I don't. It's hard to say that there was a chance for flanking on defense. Like if you're playing the defense as we saw multiple times tonight, I didn't feel like any spawn location, or at least from what we saw, they were at a serious disadvantage. I feel like they had all their bases covered.
Which is why
except for the construction site. That was quite open.
That was quite open, but again, that was partially because they set up defense in that building, which is great. That building's cool. But my question originally goes back to my original statement. If your funnel point is through that marketplace, and the only way to get from that marketplace into that construction area is 3 entrances max. Like and those 2 entrances are together, and the one entrance and their one flank spot is further away, so be it. So that if nobody could, knowing timing and things like that, you might know, okay, they've pushed to the other side. They're going around the other way, causing you to be able to relocate. That would be fine. But having as many different, if there's like 4 or 5 different ways to get into that area, it's not gonna.
Yeah, no, I get your point. Having too many entrances to one location could be a daunting task for the defense
on defense, push halfway or rush completely. Element of surprise. Yeah, and that's what I fear about a map with not a lack. It's not a lack of choke points. It's too many potential choke points. And a map with too many potential choke points means that you're going to have teams that are going to just rush because they don't feel safe on the defense, so they're going to treat it as an attack.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I don't know. We'll see how the map plays. Again, as we've said before, I think it really just comes down to spawn points. If they play those spawn locations well and place them well, we're going to see a well-balanced map. If they're shitty spawn points, we're going to see an unbalanced map, and people are going to get pissed off and not even pick the map.
I don't think it matters really where it is, but where the funnel points are.
Well, I think it matters because it sometimes like depend. Let's say for instance, one quadrant. Let's say one quadrant has a single choke point, whereas another quadrant has 3, and then the other has 3.
All right, so
like, I guess again, it comes down to not knowing the map, not seeing enough of it to really know.
Again, a lot of this.
Right now, we're just kind of speculating and just making arguments of how this map
based
could
on
be
what
optimized.
we saw.
And for the most part, I feel like it's balanced enough where, like, I'm watching it still right now. That's why my head's turned. Right
to
now,
me,
Frank's
it looked
team
like
is
there was multiple choke points. Like 2 choke points.
Right now,
sorry,
there were 2
choke
lanes.
points. Yeah, exactly.
Going to where he was.
Exactly. So there's only 2 to get into that quadrant, which is easy enough of defense. Picture warehouse.
Mm-hmm. 3 locations for each room.
You got 1 in the middle. But with 2 main doors that I saw from market into the one back section, it looked like there was 2 main doors.
Yes, but it's double layered. So I was actually just watching that part. It's double layered. So you could go up either side of those stairs, and then there's a middle hall or alley that you could run down. So you could easily go from one end to the other. And then there's another set of doors that you can go through. So yes, ultimately there's still 2 choke points, but you can devise some sort of strategy to
which is fine to getting into a quadrant, because it causes you to have a choke point there, so you can defend the quadrant there. And then if you have to fall back because for whatever reason somebody pushed through, you died, somebody who was watching another area died, forcing you to back up towards the laptop. That's what I'm saying. Laptop positioning doesn't really matter where it is on the quadrant, as long as you have, like, to me, a perfect map is I have a forward position that I can hold, and then a place that I can back up to if need be, as a secondary defensive spot. Like, to me, that is an absolutely perfectly balanced map.
You know, while we're talking, I'm watching it. And a lot of the points that you're making, it seems like they have, like, that double layer affords teams to retreat safely to another location if need be. Come on, play.
Well, I like it. I think it's going to be good. The second level of some of the buildings is going to add an interesting. Again, from the defensive standpoint, having that secondary level is going to have a very interesting play on the defensive mechanics. I think it's more defensive than offensive. So I think it
definitely has more of a defensive structure to it for sure. It still feels a bit empty, which makes it dangerous. But we argue the same thing about the plane in Gauntlet, and people still sit there on defense and they run a perfect defense, yet the plane leaves you so vulnerable.
So I'm one of the things that they've always said, or they've tried to prevent, is the rush, and I think this map can prevent that
100%.
And that's the thing. I think it can prevent, if it funnels both teams into a singlish area, or it provides you with a much better defensive strategic placements with the second levels and things like that, where you can kind of get the long shots on alleys, poke out where necessarily. I think that's where it's going to cause the gameplay to slow down on the rush, and I think that was ultimately what they were trying to do. And
I think they're going to accomplish that with this map.
Yeah, and I think they're going to nail it.
So one thing that I haven't asked yet, based on what we did see and what we didn't see. Is there anything you want to see?
Anything that I want to see or I didn't want to see?
No, anything that based on what we did see and didn't see. So like what we saw, we've kind of already talked about to death. But is there anything that you would want to see, either to do with that map or to do with content or?
As far as this map goes, I would love for them on future streams to take the 5 minutes and do a walk around of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Just like without the gameplay, without the pushing, but just sort of like go to free for all and just like kind of go through and just like, just like as if you were walking down the streets or sort of riding down the streets and just like, because there was so many doors that we were like, does that door open? Like, where does it go? Right? And we were like, go open that door.
Yeah.
So that, or sort of like they had on the Firewall Intel, sort of like a map layout would be nice to see.
Well, they also do have the dev kit, so they could easily just do a free roam cam and do a nice flyover.
Like that would be something I would like to see for like when they release maps, like, or at least sort of what their overall game plan is with a footprint of the map, and sort of like it, I mean, it doesn't need to be detailed. You can just do gray squares for buildings. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be fancy, but just sort of an overhead aerial view of sort of what, just sort of see how many, like, how's the map sectioned? Because maps are usually sectioned in some way. So that would be nice.
Yeah, this map is going to be interesting to play for sure. There's so many doors. Like Frank keeps running past doors, and I'm like, where does that go?
Exactly. That's the thing.
That
it's like,
one
where is it?
particular one, it definitely looked like it was a HUD of some sort. It's actually the market itself. I just saw through the windows. It's where all the computers are and the radars are. I even think. Let's see if I can back up further. I think that's also where the firewall is. So in that marketplace, I think it's actually the military setup with all the computers and such. So I don't know, but again, this was the first. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this was the first look at the map. It's definitely not a perfect walkthrough, but it looks big, looks dense, looks complicated, looks lived in.
You know what it looks like? It looks like that picture that got posted, that they posted in the Alvo Discord.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As soon as I saw the marketplace there with the fruit stands and veggie stands, my mind immediately went to Alvo and was like,
It literally looks like the map that they were working on, but yeah.
So guys, that's pretty much our feelings about the map so far. Seems unanimous. We like it, but we only like it at face value for what we've seen. Not much else we can really tell until we actually get our hands in it and play around with it a little bit. But before we do leave and time out here, there are a few announcements. One, we are still going to do Firewall Fridays. This was a special event. They wanted to showcase it, and they wanted to do it in their way, which is cool. We got to cover. I know Petrifying Pumpkins covered it too. I'm sure a lot of other people are also covering it, but we'll probably be back next Friday doing some more Firewall Fridays. So if you guys are interested in playing, be sure to go to the panels below. Go join our Discord if you haven't already, and be sure to sign up. We still need teams, whether it's a team or just randoms. We don't care. We just need people to come in and sign up. Filter through us so that you can come in and play. And Titch, why don't you share the arrangement that just went down today?
So, as a lot of people know, we kind of stopped taking care of North American Firewall League until playoffs. So we've been kind of focusing on Pro League for the most part. So season 7 for Pro League starts June 15th, and we are officially partnering up with Pro League, with Demolition Sean and Venny. They are want to make sure that we can cover as much as we can with them. So they're working with us, and yeah, they're officially partnered up. So you're going to see commentary on all of their promotional stuff and things. So we are covering North American, South American. So they split it this season. I know there was some issues last season with some Brazilian teams. Some people get salty when they lose.
Teams actually dropped out because of that.
So they've separated it this season. So we're hoping that we can get enough teams in the SA region to have it its own thing. But NA region for sure is going to be its own thing. So that is not going to be a worry this season. There is no problems there. As well as tomorrow. Tomorrow is Drunk Fest, guys. If you are not aware.
Such a good time.
So that is going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be myself, Prio, Toby, Art Pop. It's Brittany Beach, Justin Beach, Non-Like Flav. Hellrain actually is coming.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of us. It's going to be a heck ton of fun. And we are all going to be streaming. You guys determine how drunk. No, Brittany? What?
What do you mean, no Brittany? Is Brittany not going to be there? Is he flaking out?
What?
He better
I
be
thought
there.
he was in the. Oh, you know what? The Swede's going to be there, though. Let me see. No, here. Art Pop, Billy Boy, Hellrain, Justin Beach, Joe Magic, Ninja, Mr. Brady, Non-Like Flav, Pre-Origin, Revlox 90, The Swede, Toby Talk, Veni Vidi Vici of Pro League. Yeah, so it's going to be quite the lineup.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, but usually
are people going to be filtering out?
Yeah, so what happened,
Okay.
what we had the last two Drunk Fests that we've done is we've had some people tap out and can't handle their alcohol, so they either A, pass out, or B, just call it
It's
quits.
Karen's fault.
Yeah, so 100 bits in anybody's stream, so there's going to be a bunch of us that are streaming. 100 bits, single donation, you can basically, everybody in the lobby drinks.
Yep.
You lose if you lose the game, losers drink. Team ace, losers drink, and then we all just end up drinking in the middle of it all anyway. Last Drunk Fest, I don't remember ever going to bed. I remember waking up at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh my lord!
For I drank. I literally 2 iced teas, just gone. I popped a couple of Advils and went back to bed, and I was okay. But yeah, so check out for that tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute blast. We always have a ton of fun when we do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to participate in one of these days. The summer's really crap. I don't want to say it's crap, but in terms of scheduling things, there's always family things going on, and most of my family is not really. They're kind of sick of the whole quarantine thing. I mean, we're maintaining our distance and everything and taking precautions, but there's still get-togethers and stuff. So, yeah. Okay, so real quick plug for the Rec Fest. It's going to be June 13th, the Smokers and Drinkers. So smokers, not as in cigarettes. We're talking about the good stuff, the happy trees.
So if you're smoking dope, you know what? If you smoke heroin, I don't care. It's going to be druggies versus drinkers. So yeah, so far on the drinkers side, it's going to be myself, Prio, Toby, Swede. Karen will have to confirm on that. Myself, Toby, Prio. The fourth, I'm not 100% sure. Karen can confirm on that one. And then on the smoker side, our pop. And then on the smoker side, Zamek and possibly Vong here. I don't know who else she's got.
Isn't Cougar involved? I thought he was one of the primary.
I know
players
Karen had
on the team.
asked. I know he'd asked Karen, or Karen had asked him, but I don't. So Karen and Prio are sort of doing this one. I've tried to figure out how we're gonna. My question was how we're gonna even this out, like one drink, one toke.
Mm-hmm. I think the
Like
same
if I
rules
finish,
are gonna
like if
apply.
I have to finish a beer, do you have to finish a joint?
Well, I think we need to put a time frame on the inhale part. Yeah, because finishing a joint is not going to be doable.
Like we're destroying our livers and you know we're suffering hangovers and we got people passing out with their headsets on here.
Defend Prio.
Hashtag defend Prio. What do the smokers got? Like they're gonna cough.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we're gonna hear some stupid stuff. We're gonna hear the, huh? Wait, what? Oh, we're playing.
So so afterwards, that was the whole thing. It was like after we do like the whole smokers, drinkers part, and then we sort of just started mix everybody up and just play some. Everybody go to none. I'm like, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's just great. Try to get a bunch of drunk people to try to like. Did you watch
my
my
stream?
Properly named, did you watch my stream the other day?
Named.
Were you watching my stream the other day when I had this random? And I was like, I'm like, turn around, guys coming from behind you, and like, or I don't remember what it was. But I was like, okay, he's coming from behind you. Turn around, and dude literally like ran forward. I'm like, turn around, and then he gets shot from the back, and he's like, ah. I'm like, what do you mean, ah? I told you to turn around. And then, like, the day before that, Jesse, who is a smoker, right? I mean, Jesse's always high as a kite when we play, which is probably why he's so fucked up. But he's like, we're on docks. He's behind this container, and he's pointing in this direction, right? And I'm like, okay, stay there. I'm like, he's coming. I'm like, get ready to fire in 3, 2, 1 now. And as I said now, he turns to his right, and then the guy comes around the corner and shoots him, and he's like, oh, I'm like, what do you? I'm like, why would you turn when I told you he was coming? Like 3, 2, 1 now.
Yeah,
oh,
and then Karen made the comment. He died right on cue.
Like it was just like, and I just sat there. I was like, are you fucking
oh,
with me
that was
right now?
so funny, dude.
So I have a feeling,
man.
maybe not so much Vong, but some of the smokers, I don't know, man.
No, I got a feeling Vong's a pro. He always seems to play while he's token there, so he should be good to go. But yeah, so tomorrow's going to be Drunk Fest. Don't miss it. I'll probably be sitting in chat, chilling, watching. Hopefully one day participating. God, that'll be crazy. And then on June, what was it, 13th?
June
we got
13th.
June 13th.
I'm assuming it's tentatively
4 o'clock.
But I don't really know.
Yeah. So we'll see. So those are the
Karen,
announcements, guys.
She's responsible for it.
Yeah. So those are the announcements. We're still doing Firewall Friday, which is really cool. We've partnered with Gaming Synergy and Demolition Sean in the Pro League just to cover them for the most part. And we got Drunk Fest and Wreck Fest.
I'm really looking forward to playing Chicken Noodle Soup in Pro League this season.
Good luck, dude. Like, goddamn.
It's gonna be fun regardless. I don't, like I said, as a scrub squad makes its triumphant return back to league play. We're not gonna win. We're not gonna take first, but as always, we're not gonna take last.
No, not like the Power Rangers.
We sit middle of the pack, and we're okay with that. We do it for fun. We do it for a blast.
Yeah,
really what it's about.
Is there any entry fee to the Pro League?
Nope, no, totally free, man. So if you have a squad,
gotta sign up, guys.
You have a squad. You can find a link to their Discord in our Discord.
Yeah, so go ahead.
And then there's literally a section for season 7 for NA registration. Your captain just types your team name. That's it.
That's it, guys. You can't get any simpler than that.
But,
well, I think that's it.
I think that's it too, man.
we're well over what we probably were planning.
How long are seasons? So they play similar to what North American Firewall League are doing right now. So 1 match per week, and it will be a round robin depending on how many teams join. I believe it was 13 weeks after teams had dropped, and they condensed the last week, but I think it was about 15 weeks originally, and then it condensed down to 13. It was all done in 13 weeks.
Yeah. The nice thing about the Pro League, though, is like they're very
games are an hour.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely great. They're
it's 8
nice
games,
and short.
not
People
12.
fly through them, and it's they stick really close to the rules.
Yeah.
Of their league, like they're very stringent on the rules. And if you don't, Titch actually just informed me of this. If you don't put in your score by a certain time, or you don't play your game by a certain time, it's essentially a forfeit.
Yeah.
So if you want something that's incredibly structured and has been through multiple seasons, Pro League is free to sign up, join, play, and you're guaranteed to have a good time.
One game a week, which is very easy to book rather than trying to do multiple games per week. So 1 game per week. Log your scores on Gaming Synergy. Both teams log their scores on Gaming Synergy to make sure everything jives. Nobody's misreporting. Keep track of all the stats of everything so you can see all your team aces. 8 games instead of 12, so it's still shorter. Our casts are usually no more than an hour and a half from start to finish. So it's like a perfect time for us. Like we get into it, we get to the end of the games, and we're like, man, that's it.
That's it.
I think one day we literally had a stream that was like 54 minutes or something like that. It was less than an hour. It was like 48 minutes from start to finish before the game's actually finished, but our stream ended at like 50 less than an hour.
Yeah, if you were to take out the opening and the closing, it was literally around 40 minutes long.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's like the perfect amount of time. They really
There were a couple of times that there were significant delays because people couldn't connect, but that doesn't happen often.
Yeah. That was technical difficulties, but I mean, as far as I think longest game time without it was probably a stream that we did for about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
The 2.5 hour one, that was the only one that we ever did that was longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, that was rough. I'd love to see Chicken Noodle Soup play in the Pro League, man. I'd love it. There's a lot of really good teams over there. There are a lot of really good teams in the AFW as
Looks
well.
Like Resistance is joining, but under a name, under a new name.
Yeah, so I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Rogues 3 that registered under the name of With My Micro Penis.
Yeah. So we'll see how that turns out, but it's gonna be a good time, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. This was kind of our thoughts and opinions live while watching First Contact Entertainment's showcase of their new map Black Site, which is located over in the Middle East. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for the ones who tuned in. Thanks for the ones who commented and joined in the chatter. Really appreciate it. And thank you, Killer, for those bits. Again, also appreciate that. Guys, be sure to check out the panels below. Check out our Facebook, our Discord. We also have a merch site. You can also donate if you so choose. But the one thing that we do wish you do is come back. And to do that, got to hit the follow button, got to hit the bell icon to be notified every time we go live. But yeah, guys, this was it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm the Wolf Craze. That's Titch 1987. And this is Amateur Hour Commentary. Until next time, folks. Peace.
Good night.
Hello, I love all this energy. all this energy.
What's this knob do?
No, wait.